Charm is going to pull him away, but it is Liko! Just in time, they steal the Groudon! Version 1 wipes him from the map, and they are going to win your Underdunk 61.
Man.
To push forward, Garchomp move, Unite move into the back line, gonna damage the Suicune, send them back to the Pokemon Center. They weren't able to use that Unite move. Groudon now at half HP. Zoroark, oh, they get caught out, unable to use their Unite move. NA has one final shot to try to steal this away and salvage the game. Do they have it in them? They do! Huge Garchomp Dragon!
Damage, unfortunately, this lead healed up quite a lot by this Clefable. Wanted engagement there by the Garchomp. Takes down Lucario very instantly.
Talonflame goes down as well, though. Purple Kevin on this Hoopa is bringing in the team with the rings unbound. They're dangerously low, but Regieleki gonna walk towards that T1 goal zone. Hoopa is down. Rest of the reinforcements are here for version 1. Whoa. And it is gonna be the Blaziken getting a double KO. And a Snipe Shot finds the back line, too. Focus Blast is going to force out a Unite move from Glaceon. They're going to be able to find any damage anyway. Oh, the Hornleys misses the Hoopa portal, and Blaziken gets to safety. Here's that Unite move from Trevenant. Oh, Zacian's going to be the first to fall here. Trevenant also getting chopped down to size. Glaceon down as well in version 1. Scrambling, trying to find anything on Bibs in full control of this game.
Yeah, just kind of getting picked apart. I do got to admire Smuglax's attempt there on the Trevenant.
Look for a rip here on Groudon. It's getting close to half.
Yeah, it's already at half. Very low. Here comes a fly from Talonflame. They're going to look for it, but the coup de grace! It's going to be Aegislash that secures it. Now Sugar Rush is getting absolutely dissolved. 4 KOs. Snorlax going to be the next to fall. Adorable Wolves. They're going to win this set 2-0.
That was a really, really tough one. I mean, the Talon, I thought for sure the Fly ended up having it, but it really did just come down to that flip in the end. I think the call from
really tough, gonna get some shielding to Ian, and with 2 down, Ian's gonna look towards onto this Groudon. Already at half HP, Smuglax trying to get in, Liko trying to line up a Snipe Shot. Cute Charm is gonna pull him away, but it is Liko! Just in time, they steal the Groudon! Version 1 wipes him from the map, and they are gonna win your Underdunk 61.
Man.
To push forward, Garchomp move, Unite move into the back line, gonna damage the Suicune, send them back to the Pokemon Center. They weren't able to use that Unite move. Groudon now at half HP. Zoroark, oh, they get caught out, unable to use their Unite move. NA has one final shot to try to steal this away and salvage the game. Do they have it in them? They do! Huge Garchomp Dragon!
Damage, unfortunately, this lead healed up quite a lot by this Clefable. Wanted engagement there by the Garchomp.
And welcome on in, Pokemon Unite trainers. We are back. Underdunk number 65. I couldn't remember which number it was, but either way, we are back. And we are a couple days before LAIC. Steel Agent Kyle, Husky Star on the mics for the first few rounds of the evening. We have a couple of great teams already getting ready to square away.
Yeah, this is, I mean, we're getting ever so close to the Underdunk 69 where we will be all wearing crop tops, right?
Yeah,
crop
I think Dracu promised a maid outfit.
Maid outfit for Dracu. I could also wear one, but it's not as exciting when a girl does it. So, ever so close to what we're really here for. But Underdunk 65, we've got a lot going on. LAIC starts tomorrow, which is the kickoff to the competitive season. So I'm sure that a lot of teams are trying to get some practice in, get ready for the qualifiers coming up in December, and, you know, start to shake out how they're handling this new meta.
Yeah, the new meta has certainly shifted. We had a recent patch update since the last tournament that we hosted over on Sprayle's channel, which was really fun. But enough of that for at least the time being. We have a new graphic that you see at the top of the screen. There's a QR code down there somewhere. Husky, do you want to talk about what you are doing?
Yeah, it's that way.
It's that way.
Yeah, sure. So all of November is Diabetes Awareness Month. I think it's Awareness Month, but Visibility Month, it's similar. Diabetes Awareness Month is all of November. We just passed World Diabetes Day as well. And I'm doing a fundraiser to raise money for type 1 diabetes research, a really good foundation, Breakthrough T1D. They used to be JDRF, which stood for Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, but it's not juvenile. Recent research has, found that and corrected themselves that type 1 is definitely not limited to just juvenile. So it rebranded semi-recently to Breakthrough T1D. Basically, their goal is to get as much research on it as possible and try to get closer to finding a cure, of which there is none. Mm-hmm. So all we can do as diabetics is run our pancreas ourselves because it does not work. So anything that I can do with my platform, I try my best to get eyes on the topic, raise awareness. It's a disability that people have all heard of, but not a lot of people know about. So even if, you can't donate or you're, or whatever, or you don't want to donate money, even if you have any specific questions, you are doing your part just by learning a little bit about diabetes and generally what it does and why we need a lot of research that goes into it. So I'm doing this campaign. Kyle was kind enough to include it here for you in case you are interested in looking more into it. And I am doing a long stream tomorrow where I'm going to be, going through all of the incentives that were reached. I've already raised $64, which is huge, which means I've reached 2 of my incentives already. And Chris Heroes offered to duo with me. And Chris Hero said that he would comfy pocket me if I get to $222. So some of y'all better pull up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, 220, that's not too far away. I mean, you're already like a quarter of the way there, third of the way there. I think math works that way mostly. Bye, Floof. Floof just left. Yeah. So, make sure to tune in tomorrow on Husky's channel. Husky's going to be live, like she said, most of the day. Tune in to her. She's going to be, I believe you said you're going to be playing, but also doing a little bit of LAIC.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching. Yeah, I'm going to be watching a lot of LAIC as well as also playing some games, duoing some games. And there's a set of builds that my lovely fiance collected for me from members of the community. Some of them are troll builds. Some of them are just builds that certain community members enjoy. So, for certain donations and things like that, I will pick a random one, play some games with those as well. Just anything that I can do to get some eyes on it. There's Floof. He's back.
He's back. He's
diabetic
so Floof. And he's just on the lap. Good boy. He's going to run the second that we get the first hype play of the day. So,
yeah, so true.
Sorry, buddy. I'm going to apologize in advance, little guy. Yeah, he's being very good today. I think he's a little
I don't know where my cats are. Usually they come in here. They go anywhere that any people are. Kyle met them. Kyle knows. They just hang out with people. They don't leave your side if there's people around. So I guess there must be something in the sink, and the food kind of trumps hanging out with me, which I get, I understand. But there must be something in the sink that they need to lick or something like that. They'll probably be up later.
Surely. Well, we are almost ready. I think our observer is getting final ready checks from the 2 squads. We're going to have Thanos Exodia. It's 2 words. I don't care what the bracket says. That is 2 words. And Griefers.
Yeah, I did not read that name properly when I first saw it. I was like, what are they? Anyway.
Yeah, we got the first draft. Thanos Exodia gonna be on your purple side. Griefers Reunited on your orange side. And we already have at least a little bit of stats. I know I have the full stats that we could go through, and we have a little bit of time. But we do have a little bit of stats on the left side.
Yeah, so interesting here. 96% ban rate on Mega Charizard from the Groudon Gauntlet. since then, it has gotten a bit of a nerf, but I think it's still very, very strong, if not still pretty broken. So we'll have to see how teams are working around that, if they still think it's strong enough to ban it, or if they still want to be playing it.
Indeed. Latias, Suicune, very strong picks right now. Instead, they are going to go ahead and get banned out. Darkrai as well. Darkrai is very much on the ban list for the Groudon Gauntlet. Another ban on that ban list, Mega Charizard X. I don't think Griefers Reunited was quite ready, despite some of the nerfs that it got, to give that over with that first pick.
Yeah, I think that I was also interested to see if Mega Lucario would still be prioritized in that pick slot, and it looks like it is. MQL is going to grab that one. It's still strong. Both of these Mega Pokemon that were recently released have been given a nerf or two. I think Mega Lucario's gotten a couple of slight nerfs, but it just kind of goes to show how strong this class of Pokemon are, and I hope they kill it. So... yeah, but Mega Lucario still being prioritized. Other picks that we see commonly, Snorlax. Of course, Snorlax probably also needs a nerf, but it's so hard to nerf defenders and supporters when they're not played as often. But Snorlax is still very much picked in the competitive scene, as well as Hoopa that we see over on the other side.
Yeah, Hoopa, I believe both of those Pokemon, Snorlax being at the very top, received top 10 in the category of picks in that large tournament that we hosted just over a week ago. A Pokemon that we haven't seen too much of, though, as of late, Psyduck making an appearance here for Griefers Reunited.
Yeah, Psyduck, it was broken for a long time. It was picked and banned in every single game for a while. Got a couple of nerfs, and now it just seems to be, the teams that really have a player who enjoys playing it, or teams that are trying to lean more into the harasser style support role. I do love this license art for Dodrio. That is so he's just moving, but that's what they're rounding out with. At least one speedster is coming out in today's game number 1.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see this. I played 2 games total of Mega Lucario, and I've won both of them, and I just feel like this Pokemon...
Wow, 100% win rate.
100%, I'm retiring
That's
right
how
away.
broken it is.
I know, it's so... Honestly, the big thing that it still has going for it is that close combat reset. I feel like if you catch a team that's maybe not quite ready for a rip of an objective, that's where it can really shine. Just having that reset that lowers the cooldown of it, which essentially means when it's in that mega form, you have it permanently up that entire time, which is incredibly broken when it comes to taking an objective off the map.
And we do have regular old normal Lucario, not Mega, being picked up on the other side as well. So both Lucarios in this game. It's interesting because in Season 1 of Competitive Unite, draft wasn't a thing. So we would see mirror matches, and the most broken Pokemon were, in fact, the Pokemon that got into the game. So it is interesting to see 2 Lucarios again.
Lucario v Lucario, Thanos Exodia on your purple side, Griefers Reunited on your orange side. Getting into game number 1 of your round number 1. Down on the bottom path, a very familiar duo. We have that Swinub along with the Mew.
I do love Mew, and it's such a flexible Pokemon. It's probably been my favorite Pokemon to play recently. I just find it so much fun, and it's very flexible. And it does get a lot of good secures. Not able to get that one, however. The Pikachu, which will evolve into a Alolan Raichu, eventually is able to grab that one. Snorlax getting to about half HP. It has to use an eject button, actually, but Snorlax is very, very tanky.
You gotta be very happy if you're Thanos Exodia. You were able to split a lot of that wild Pokemon with Griefers Reunited, but you did get that eject button, like you said, away from Snorlax, a very valuable tool when it comes to these fights.
Lucario and Lucario both in the top path. I really do feel like we're in Season 1 of Unite. You're not going to see the Lucario on Thanos Exodia Mega Evolve until it reaches at least level 9. So this entire early game, I feel like we're back in Season 1. Both Lucarios in the top path trying to get these secures.
Extreme speed might be the play here for Griefers Reunited. They're putting a little bit of pressure on Thanos Exodia, but see the rating on the wall, they weren't going to get a whole lot, but that does mean that Martine is going to try to go for a little bit of an invade, take this blue buff away from Thanos Exodia.
Ooh, the Hoopa comes down trying to stop them, but they do suss it out. Hoopa has to use the hyperspace hold backwards, and I don't really think Martine wants to give it up anytime soon. Dodrio, especially when it's even a little bit ahead, can really harass, and it's so slippery. It's difficult to catch up to, especially if there's a little bit of a level disadvantage. Even there, Lucario comes in with a power-up punch, and Martine just kind of walks away from it.
4 members were chasing around Martine in that central area. Doesn't get the KO. He's still able to score those 18 points, but the most important thing is he created a lot of space for Griefers Reunited to find experience on their side of the map, on the neutral side of the map, and now we have this Regidrago up for grabs for both of these teams.
I like seeing that we're seeing like the Mega Lucario with power-up punch, and then the other Lucario just has extreme speed, so opposite builds from these two top path Pokemon. Mew does have its level 5 now, so it's able to switch moves. Look at this swine up, even before reaching level 5. It does a lot of CC, and it's continued to push Griefers Reunited out.
Got the extreme speed, getting those resets, going through wild Pokemon, going through the enemy Pokemon. Now I'll have an option with this Altaria to go through those and clear those off the map very quickly. Blaziken looking to chop them down to sides with that overheat, able to get a little bit of experience for themselves. But Griefers Reunited still in the driver's seat as far as points go, and even maybe a little bit in levels. Good engage here with those extreme speed. They're going to take out the Hoopa, looking for a little bit more. Going to have to back up because great heal from that Mew, and the Mew does take down Luca.
Great switch there into the coaching to make sure that they're able to catch up and hit the Electro Ball as the Lucario was running away. Here comes Martine, though, trying to see if they can do anything to prevent this in the top half. Likely not going to be able to. If they get caught, they're basically going down here. A lot of points will go in for Thanos Exodia, now 97 to 81, leaving this goal zone on 5.
Reggie Steele up in the top path. MQL trying to get to this Registeel. Oh, and they do it for Reggie's away from the Blaziken, a massive play. They're going to take out the Mew and the Hoopa as well. Dodrio narrowly escaping on 1 HP, does get out of dodge.
Yeah, that's not the Lucario you would expect to secure. Usually you would see the power-up punch making that secure, but the extreme speed is the one that's able to pick it up. Regilecki is in the bottom path. Neither team has... Both teams are now kind of starting to move down into that bottom path, but no one has committed to taking the objective just yet. Snorlax is caught out here. They're pushed away. A lot of CC from that Ice Fang right there, and they will go down. Thanos Exodia has another advantage here in this bottom path.
Martine just doing his best, being a pest in this top path, grabbing points, dunking points, scoring a bit. Blaziken in a little bit of trouble. Here comes a Unite move from Mo. Nice little stop there. Oh, it just stops the score and takes the KO onto that Dodrio. Now great overheat is going to push Mo way back towards their own T1 pad. Musid Auto going to connect on the Sonic. No, good body block from Harrow on that Snorlax.
You're 3-on-1 there. You cannot lose that fight to the one Blaziken. The Focus Blast hits the Dodrio and is able to get them there. Breaking the goal zone here is this Mega Lucario. They use it to eject by an in, but not able to get the healing on the close combat that's required. Feels like so far with this game, just so much back and forth brawling. Neither team still has committed to this basement objective.
Yeah, it's still up, and you do see that Thanos Exodia has both of their T1 goal zones up right now, along with that Hoopa. That is a very important tool to be able to transport the team very quickly up and down the path, so they have a very big spatial advantage right now. Not only that, but they are likely going to take this Regieleki. This will walk towards that T2 of Griefers Reunited, and that's going to force them to deal with it, as this top objective is going to be spawning very soon too.
Yeah, I'm now just seeing the Blaziken and the Mega Lucario with Power Up Punch on one team. That's a lot of secure on the other side, so you really don't want to give it up to a flip situation for any objective. Meanwhile, Thanos Exodia, Hoopa sends everybody top, but two of them decide not to go. Instead, they follow the Regieleki into the bottom path, and they're able to get a ton of points in.
Yeah, they could potentially break this. 26 is going to leave it on 3, but here comes Martine. Gets the KO on Lucario. Blaziken trying to get away, missed boosted auto, but Snorlax closes them down.
I feel like the damage was done, really, at that point. You're really not mad about going down there at all. I mean, you give up level 12 KO on the Blaziken, but you get a ton of points in, and now they're over 100 points ahead. They baited everyone on Griefers Reunited into that top path so that they gave up the top objective, but at the same time, I feel like getting those points in the bottom path was definitely more valuable.
They're going to continue to put pressure on the right side of the map as Thanos Exodia. And I really do like this play. Mamoswine looking to engage on the Alolan Raichu, able to do so, but good Psychic there from the Psyduck to push Mamoswine away, and they're able to close that KO down. It's not the biggest KO, only a level 10 Mamoswine, but you got to be happy with anything you could get at this point for Griefers.
Yeah, I mean, also Alolan Raichu can get really slippery, but if it does get caught, it goes down pretty quick. But Mamoswine really requires a lot of precision with actually hitting its CC moves, especially the Ice Fang. It has to get close enough, and Alolan Raichu really can just skate away. So the added security of the Surf and the Psychic from the Psyduck just makes it really powerful to make sure that the Mamoswine can't tank and set the team up the way that they would like to.
This might be a large fight here at the 230 mark. Lucario hits a close combat, goes right through that Hoopa portal. Blaziken dangerously low, narrowly escaping. A lot of damage from Griefers Reunited. Lucario once again in the middle of a little bit of problem. Here comes Snorlax, look at it. Mamoswine turns it right around, takes out the Snorlax, but Regieleki going towards the side of Thanos Exodia. That's a big catch.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even say that it was an overextension from the Snorlax, but that being said, Thanos Exodia does have the better secure, and with anybody down, they can just start ripping through. But two go down. Dodrio with a 2 KO streak right away. Hoopa is also going down here. They will not have the rings unbound. Griefers Reunited has an opportunity to rip.
But here comes Mega Lucario looking for a power-up punch. Gonna get stunned out. Oh, it's the regular Lucario. No Mega Stone needed for Griefers Reunited. They're gonna make their way towards these T2 gold pads. This one's defenseless, 100 points going in. That gives them a 10-point lead here, Husky.
Yeah, wow, they're going to need a couple more points in if they really want to secure their lead. They have the top path open, and there goes Dodrio. They're not going to get the full 100 points in because of the scoring, but they should be able to fit in the rest in this Tier 2 goal zone. Now, Alolan Raichu also coming in, trying to defend is this Blaziken and the Mega Lucario, but they are now in a pretty good lead, 394 to 284. Two are down again for Thanos Exodia. Once again, the Mamoswine goes down without using a Unite move.
Dodrio does go down and yields that Groudon buff over to Thanos Exodia, so that Mega Lucario does have one for the time being, but with a near 350 point deficit for Thanos Exodia, that's going to be a lot of points to deposit. With only 45 seconds, it's going to be a very tough thing to accomplish.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to need to win another team fight, or Griefers Reunited is going to have to make a lot of huge mistakes. If you just have one shield on your side, it's still going to be very difficult. Griefers Reunited could just give up this top path goal zone and not have to worry about it much, but they probably aren't too worried about taking a fight here. No, Snorlax does go down. There is a chance for Thanos Exodia.
Okay, that's another shield. I think actually Lucario gets it, so I think it's pretty much the same Pokemon that's going to have it. They're going to have to deposit this 100 points, 462 now. Still going to need about 220 points. I don't think I see the pocket change in their pocket, so it is going to be Griefers Reunited taking game number 1.
It was a great play from Thanos Exodia, and they definitely could have won that game if they just didn't give up as many points. Which honestly could have been done by yielding that top goal zone earlier, because then Dodrio was able to get a lot of points in there with the double point buff in the last 2 minutes. But either way, 654 to 476, almost still a 200-point win, even after that amazing push by Thanos Exodia. Great playing there by Griefers Reunited. I really feel like, you know, catching out a few right before Groudon spawned was really what did it for them.
Yeah, I think that was obviously the biggest play of the game for them. It looked really rough there, probably towards that midpoint of the match where it was Thanos Exodia breaking that T2 goal zone. Griefers Reunited, they needed that bottom Regieleki, because if they hadn't gotten that, that could have potentially walked all the way to their home goal zone. Unfortunately for Thanos Exodia, it does not go their way. They yield the Regieleki. They again yield a few KOs. Griefers Reunited converged on a couple members, including the Hoopa, which could have potentially brought the team in with those rings unbound and maybe salvaged the game.
You know, I was really worried seeing the Snorlax go down so close to when Groudon spawned, but they did such a good job of zoning out Thanos Exodia from being able to secure the Regieleki that it might have been the game-winning play. You distract everybody else on the other team with the CC that Snorlax has, and you know that your KO timer is not going to be that long, so you should be back in time, and then you just trust your team to pick up the Regieleki and potentially a couple of KOs, and that's exactly what Griefers Reunited did.
Mm-hmm. As you see, yeah, it's struggling for a majority of this game. A lot of the objectives, though, ended up kind of getting traded between the two teams. And I think that's kind of a tale of these are pretty evenly matched teams. So right off the bat, we're getting a pretty good matchup between these two squads. I'm excited to see what game 2 holds for them.
Yeah, I mean, it really was just that last fight that kind of ended up in favor of Griefers Reunited. Throughout the rest of the game, it was a difficult tell as to what team was actually going to come out on top. Both were getting some really valuable picks, really fighting well. It ended up really being that last moment where Thanos Exodia moved in after KOing the Snorlax. If they just backed up there and didn't try to re-engage the fight after being zoned out, this might have been a very different game because they would have had the opportunity to regroup and actually look for a team fight.
Floof is like hovering my feet. He's looking to re-engage the lap.
He likes feet, right?
He does.
He's
he
like a
does.
feet
He
guy.
likes. Okay.
It's so weird.
I noticed. We figured this out recently. It's not just feet. It has to be bare feet. Like if you have socks on,
Ew.
he wants nothing to do with them. But if you don't have socks on, he wants to bite them.
Floof and I are the opposite. I don't want anything to do with bare feet at all. Socks are required in my home at all times by all parties. I have socks and slippers on at all times, no matter what. I don't know if me and Floof would get along.
Buddy, I think you would get along with us. Yeah.
You know, Karma's the same way. His first toy that he really loved was a shoe.
Aww.
Yeah.
All right. Let's
It's his favorite.
Let's actually pivot here real quick. I do want to show, we did kind of mentioned it before about our most picked and our most banned while we have a little bit of time while teams are getting the ready checks. Talking about the most banned, the most picked. We'll start with the most banned from the Groudon Gauntlet, which is just a couple of weeks ago, but it was before this most recent patch. Charizard, Mega Lucario, very much at the top of those bans.
Yeah, which isn't surprising at all. And Suicune still, like, all of it's just like, I don't know why. Well, I actually don't know how it's done. But when the developers are deciding, you know, what a patch should include, I feel like we should be looking at the competitive ban and pick rates rather than like the win rates of like the top 10k or whatever, but I don't know what they actually do. But that's a great, if you're the developers of Pokemon Unite here watching this random grassroots tournament on a Thursday night, consider taking a look at those top 5 and gut those things. Anyway, here's draft, game number 2.
Game number 2, we already have the bans. A lot of the familiar foes, Blissey, Mega Charizard, Hoopa, which I think did quite well for a majority of that match for Thanos Exodia. Griefers Reunited does not want to see that here.
Yeah, but interestingly enough, Suicune is let through, and instead of picking up the Mega Lucario, Thanos Exodia is going to prioritize the Suicune. Interestingly enough, Thanos Exodia went with the Alolan Raichu ban because of how impactful it was previously, but Griefers Reunited just takes away the Mew.
Okay, all right, yeah. I'm very much in favor of really anybody that has the ability to play Mew to pick it up. It's obviously a little bit more of a skill-intensive Pokemon, but it kind of has so many tools within its kit, depending on the situation. If you want to go A-press heavy in these big team fights, I love having coaching. It's kind of like a mini helping hand from Blissey. So no Blissey on the table. It's kind of like a watered-down version of that. But MQL on the Inteleon, I'd really like to see that.
Yeah, I mean, with Mew, I feel like even though it is a skill-intensive Pokemon, which isn't common of a lot of attackers, I guess, like Snipe Shot and, would be another one that's pretty skill-intensive. But Mew was broken, like absolutely busted for so long that so many attacker players learned how to play Mew really well. So that's, I think that is why we still see it getting picked up so often. Same with things like Inteleon that are more skill intensive. When something was broken for a while, you gotta learn how to play it, because if someone on your team doesn't know how to play the broken thing, then you have to dedicate a ban slot to it. But yeah, so interestingly enough, we've got the Mew on the other side this time, and this time the Aegislash is coming back out, which was banned was it banned last time? Something weird was, but yeah, so it was banned. So now we're gonna see the infamous Aegislash.
Aegislash. I do kind of like it here, especially if you're able to get onto onto that Inteleon, which can be a little bit more difficult to track down with all those Fell Stingers. It's also a very good tank shredder, so things like this Alchemy, things like the Suicune, which tend to have a little bit higher of a health pool, even the Blaziken to some extent, I think it'll be really good at kind of slicing those down to size.
Yeah.
And once again, Martine on the Dodrio looked fantastic early, looked fantastic late.
Yeah, and I mean, funnily enough, no Mega Lucario coming out here, even though it was first picked last time. I guess Thanos Exodia was like, this just was not that helpful. So instead, nobody's actually going to pick it up. I do like the pivot to, making sure that you get that Suicune. That's a pick that you definitely don't want the other team to have, especially if you're playing from behind.
Game number 2 of our winners round 1. Thanos Exodia still on your purple side, Griefers United. That second pick still on your orange side. And again, this Mew Snorlax going to put on a little bit of pressure down here on the enemy side. And Sobble with those buffs, or I guess those nerfs in the early part of this season, it's going to have a little bit more of a tough time against this Mew.
Yeah, but I think that it's still pretty good for Secure. You're going to expect to get more evenly matched in this bottom path when you have 2 attackers with amazing Secure early. The top path, though, Torchic already went down there. I don't think he deserves that with his little hat on. I feel like you just gotta leave him alone. He's just got a little hat. Don't bother my boy.
Yeah, look at you. That's actually a really good hat.
Look at him. So cute.
Rapid Strike Urshifu. Okay, this is going to be very difficult to deal with, but Martine making it look pretty good early on. Nice little helping hand there from the Milcery is going to keep them upright. Full heal popped here from Martine, forced back to those citrus berries, but forcing forward is this a Drizzile along with the Water Bear looking pretty good. Now going to have to run away from this Eldegoss.
Ooh, that's tough there. Almost good. No, Dodrio was able to catch up to them, but they do pay for it. Just back and forth here in this top path. Gossifleur trying to get away, not able to. Already gets level 4 on this Alchemy. Are we going to see a recover on the Alchemy, or are we going to be seeing... Yeah, it is a recover. A lot easier to work with recover in a competitive setting because of the communication. Otherwise, it's extremely strong move.
I love recover here. I'm loving this play here from MQL, finding massive KOs. Was able to pick up that Mew in that central area before this Regidrago hits the map. Now you have Suicune trying to put a little bit of pressure on this Snorlax, and you do get that level 7 evolution here for this Inteleon, so Secure is on the menu, gonna have to look for it. It's actually the Water Bear that picks it up.
Yeah, I mean, that's big to have this level 7 early, and I honestly really do like this Rapid Strike pick. Especially because Dodrio requires a little bit more skill to make sure that it's actually landing the amount of damage that it needs, and if Urshifu's moving around constantly, it's going to be more difficult to deal with without any sure hit moves.
Mew holding the line here on this T1, not quite well by itself, with 4 members of Thanos Exodia putting the pressure on. A T1 goal zone is now gone before this Altaria family is picked up, so that could be pretty notable. Now we have both sets of objectives hitting the map here in about 5 seconds. Going to be a Reggie Roulette up in the top path. Reggie Alecki down on the bottom path, so might be why Thanos Exodia decided to break.
Yeah, I definitely like that, especially on this new version of the map where you know, you can have the opportunity to push goal zones a little bit more and more opportunities to score. So breaking that goal zone early just means that now Griefers Reunited has to deal with this Regieleki pushing toward their tier 2, or they're going to be at a point deficit for sure.
Alrighty, and Regieleki making its way towards that T2 goal zone. Griefers United forced to defend. Thanos Exodia putting a little bit of pressure. There's a nice little snipe shot connection from MQL. They're looking to see if they could push this one on in. Very close to going on in. It's knocking on the doorstep. Good block here from Snorlax. There's that triple trample from the Dojo. Gonna try to retreat back. Very low HP for Martine. It's the Urshifu that falls. Mew and Snorlax gonna be next to go down. There's that coup de grace gonna help take down a Pokemon.
Ooh,
and
wow.
Great defense here from Griefers Reunited.
Wow, look at that Aegislash absolutely rip through the enemy team. They were on less than 1 HP, hits the wide guard just in time, which heals them up so much. Aegislash is one of those Pokemon that's also very skill intensive, where a good Aegislash is devastating. So I'm starting to see maybe why this was banned in game 1.
Good freeze there from Suicune, but unfortunately for them, unable to defend that T1 goal zone. Griefers Reunited now able to take that score lead, which they didn't quite have in game number 1.
Yeah, it was Thanos Exodia that was really taking control of it early.
Oh, man.
Great snipe shot there. Plucks the bird right out of the sky. Dodrio back in the Pokemon Center. But Griefers Reunited did not sit with the score lead throughout most of the game in game number 1. But that momentum has shifted back their way. They are almost at a full 100-point lead. But Thanos Exodia is going to quickly make use of their opportunity to go towards the tier 1 goal zone.
All 5 members pushed onto the Aegislash. It didn't quite go the Sword's way this time. They're able to break that T1, and now Thanos Exodia making their way towards this Regiroulette. What will we see? Gonna be a Registeel for them, so attack and special attack buffs here for the next 90.
And once again, Thanos Exodia's team comp is very heavily towards secure. I mean, there's really... Mew and Aegislash have pretty good secure on the other side, but Blaziken, known as one of the best secure Pokemon in the game with Overheat, and Snipe Shot as well. One of those really heavy burst damage. If it does hit, that gets secures a lot of the time. So I feel like if you're Griefers Reunited, you don't want to give Thanos Exodia the opportunity to rip down objectives, because they likely will secure. So again, gotta look for a... Okay, never mind.
Never mind. Your turn. All right, Griefers Reunited gets the Regieleki. Very contested there. Mew still does have a pretty good secure with that E-ball. But like she said, Thanos Exodia, if they might have been in position, might have had maybe a little bit better of a shot, but I think no harm, no foul here. They're able to score on that top side, 218, 217 right now, so only 1 point separate these two teams.
Yeah, 1 point game right now. Dodrio able to steal that red buff away before Urshifu can get there. I think Griefers Reunited is pretty comfortable, but clearly Thanos Exodia has their scoring game down, even though it seems like Griefers Reunited have been able to take a lot of these fights and really have map control. Somehow, Thanos Exodia has put in a lot of points, enough to maintain a 1 point lead.
Well, maybe this Dodrio is depositing some on that T2. I think that's one of the things that you have to watch out for if you're Thanos Exodia, is just the heavy pressure from Martine on this Dodrio, which he's done not only in game 1, but he's also kind of carried that into game number 2. Blaziken, unwiser, walks right by the retreating Dodrio.
Yeah, they're going to have to make their way back up to the top path. 5 members of Thanos Exodia versus 4 members of Griefers, while Dodrio just kind of hangs out and doing Dodrio things in the bottom path. It's going to be up to this Mew to make sure they get as much poke damage as possible, but neither team really wants to use Unite moves at this point, nor do they want to go down because of how close it is, with 30 seconds left until Groudon hits the map.
Yeah, they're going to try to rip through this Regirock with Thanos Exodia, and they do. So that's a nice buff there. 90 seconds of that buff, which will span a decent amount into that Groudon fight. Griefers Reunited happy to capture their wild Pokemon at this point, but they are in the driver's seat. 272, 218. We're going to get in position here for this Groudon.
I mean, look at these levels as well. The only thing is Mew is just 1 level behind. So technically Griefers Reunited is a level behind, but the level distribution is so similar across both of these teams. This is a very, very close game, but again, Griefers Reunited doesn't want to give Thanos the opportunity to rip.
Okay, and we have some Unite moves already going through. Aegislash looking to go on in, but it is the Rapid Striker Shifu dealing with them, damaging them heavily. Martine trying to retreat from the Blaziken, unable to do so. Inteleon goes down, Dodrio is down. The water there, but it's heating up. We're gonna take down the Aegislash, they do. The fucking burn from Maldigas. Griefers Reunited on the here comes the Shifu, taking it to him, they're moving to Groudon.
Yeah, I mean, Inteleon's still down, but they're the only one who ends up going down in that fight. I don't think there's any possibility that Griefers Reunited is able to get this secure. Everybody's on top of it. It's the Alchemy who ends up getting the secure down. And, I mean, if Griefers wants a chance in this game, they're going to have to defend.
Griefers trying to get their way towards these gold zones to make sure these points don't go on in. Thanos still needs some points here, still down. Looking for this T2 gold zone. All 5 members from both teams there.
Oh!
Striker Shifu, Griefers Reunited rapidly falling down, and we are likely going to a game 3.
Yeah, no chance at this point with 30 seconds left on the clock. Almost every single member of Griefers goes down there. I mean, they made the right call by looking to defend. They definitely had to do that, but what a couple of hits of that snipe shot from the Inteleon to just disappear the other team.
Huge stuff. 690, 272. Likely going to be the final score here, pending any final second scores. Game 3 going to be on the horizon. This matchup between these two teams has been every bit as exciting as I had hoped when we had picked it.
Yeah, I mean, this was a great round 1 game to start off with how close it is. We usually don't get things like that in round 1, so it is exciting seeing a game 3 in round 1 of our Underdunk 65. There's the final score of game 2, 730 to 272. Look at Delion with 10 KOs, over doubling the highest amount of KOs on the enemy team.
Yeah, it was just great picks for Thanos Exodia during that Groudon fight. They found the right targets, but also they just chained their Unite moves at the right time. Sending that Alchemy Unite move and healing up the team. I believe we also saw Suicune's Unite move at that same time, and then it was Urshifu targeting the Pokemon that they needed to, right? Looking towards that sword, knocking them out. And then at that point, it was almost all over with a lot of the front line kind of on low HP and just a lone Eldegoss trying to top them off. Once those health bars got low enough, it was Thanos Exodia's match to lose.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Aegislash, it was banned in game number 1, so Momo obviously a very strong Aegislash player, but it just might be that the Pokemon isn't tanky enough. Like, there were some times where it would sustain, but when you have the amount of burst that Snipe Shot and Overheat have, Blaziken can do a lot of rip, and then you also have some CC going down. Aegislash is just not the Pokemon that can really withstand that type of damage.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, looking towards game number 3, I mean, there's probably not a whole lot that you change if you're either squad. Maybe Griefers are United. I'm not sure what you'd change here because I thought for a lot of this match, they looked quite good. Maybe just their team fight capability not as powerful as it was in game number 1.
Yeah, I mean, I think also they walked right into the Alchemy Unite move in the end game, which is really, really good. Yeah, it got nerfed back a little bit, and Alchemy isn't as commonly used, but it did so much in that last fight, and unfortunately, Griefers Reunited just kind of walked into it like they were hoping that it wasn't going to do healing as fast as they could do damage. But if you take a look at their team comp, their damage is not very quick. Like, it takes a minute for them to be able to get the full extent of their damage, which can be healed up really quickly inside Alchemy's Unite move.
Yeah, Alchemy has been incredibly powerful. I felt, Miss is here. Floop's on my lap again.
Oh my god.
Oh.
She's the she came.
She got a new scarf on, or a new handkerchief?
Yeah, it's her Christmas one.
Christmas.
She picked green one. Yeah, Christmas. She was a gift for Christmas. Santa got her for me.
Aww.
Back in 2009.
Aww.
Yeah. Yeah. she's so
gift that
eeny.
keeps on giving.
Yeah, a miss. She's the best. I think she's a little bit sick because she kept sneezing earlier.
Fluke's been sneezing
so
a lot
cute.
earlier today, too.
Maybe it's the cold.
Yeah, it's very possible.
We've been getting snow out here. We had a delay yesterday. Oh, she's on the keyboard.
Oh.
We had a delay yesterday because of snow. It's crazy.
Yeah, we had...
Anyone else out there getting snow?
Not frequently, but we had one day last week where we had like an inch of snow, and it was crazy. I hated it. Also, I liked it a little bit because...
You don't like snow?
I have a love-hate relationship with snow. I don't like shoveling driveways and sidewalks and porches. I think that's really annoying. But I do like frolicking, so, you know.
Big frolicker. Yeah, Kyle, known frolicker. Really big on frolicking. Yeah, I get that. I also don't like shoveling and such, but I grew up with brothers, and that's a man's job, so...
True.
That was never my responsibility. But maybe these days, there's no man in my house except Karma, so maybe I have got to pick that one up.
Karma
what is Karma doing? He doesn't do anything.
Yeah, tell him to get a job.
He's really got to get a job. I don't know. He just sits around, waits for food, everything handed to him. Anyway, game 3.
Game 3
Here we go.
On deck. Yep, we already have some of the bands. Teams have swapped sides, so for the first time, we'll see Griefers reunited in that first pick spot. Splot? I was going to say slot and spot, so splot. That's a new word that I've made. Yeah.
In the splot, we've got a couple decent bans. This time, Griefers are united on the purple side, and they're going to continue to ban that Mega Charizard. I think they definitely don't want to give that over, but otherwise, bans are going to stay the same as we saw in game number 2, just swapped sides.
Yeah, just a little bit different, just different order. Snorlax, Harrow on the Snorlax once again. This is the third straight game that we've seen them take that Pokemon, and they've been the Flail-Lax variety each time. You see that Rapid Fire Scarf, it leads me to believe it might be a third straight time.
Yeah, I didn't even notice the Flail-Lax the entire time. I've just assumed that because Snorlax is good, it's been the Heavy Slam one. But yeah, you're right, it has been Flail every time. But the trade-off of taking Snorlax first is you give both Mega Lucario and Suicune to the other side. And I don't know how much I like that decision.
Okay, yeah. We'll see how this part goes. Okay, yeah, you yield that Mega Lucario, but you get these, checks my notes, Sableye. Okay. I mean, Sableye, I think, is still something that can be really valuable. I imagine that we may see Dodrio once again to kind of have that orange juicers composition of that Sableye Dodrio.
Classic.
Yeah, put a lot of pressure on the enemy side, but the thing you got to be worried about is that Comfey Zeraora.
Yeah, Comfey Zeraora. I wonder if we will be seeing a discharge on that Pokemon with the Sweet Kiss on the Comfey. I can imagine that either Comfey build works, but regardless, Comfey being attached to anyone means that it's just a little bit more broken than it was without it. And we do have the Zacian as well coming out. Zacian, a Pokemon I feel like some weeks is banned every game and some weeks is never touched.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see if we actually get it, but I think the thing that I'm really interested here is a Pikachu last pick. I mean, there's so many Pokemon that are on the table at this point, but we're going to go with the Pikachu. I both love and hate it at the same time. It's just so interesting that this Pokemon that really hasn't been touched in quite some time from a patch note standpoint is getting some play here.
Yeah, I mean, it is the guy. It is the mascot. It is Pokemon. But yeah, I mean, there's still so much value in having a Pikachu, especially just for shutdown. And if you are running, a composition around this Zeraora with the Comfey on top of it, then having a little bit of extra CC just to trap somebody there for a little bit longer could be the extra damage that you need.
Let's get into game number 3. Thanos Exodia Griefers reunited, and this is gonna be one who is, or I guess this is gonna be for who's gonna be playing against, I believe, Lunex Gaming, obviously formerly the Goofy Goobers, and that is the
That's how you had to say it too every time.
Yeah.
By the way.
True.
The Goofy Goobers.
The Goofy Goobers. Maybe not that way. Maybe not that way. We'll see. But game number 3, let's get on it. The Griefers Reunited purple side. Thanos Exodia, gonna be on your orange side. Likely gonna see this Mew along with the Snorlax head to the bottom path once again.
Yeah, just, keep it simple. Continue to send that attacker and defender into the bottom path, your support, and your all-rounder into the top. So, seeing Comfey go up into this top path with Lucario leads me to believe that they're planning to send Zeraora up there early. Usually you want to go to the path with the Comfey on it so you have more options for potential escape or lasting a little bit longer in that engagement. Because having a Comfey is basically like losing a player for making one player really, really extra good. So you're basically still just 2-on-2 in the top hat at that point.
I'm gonna push away this Zacian. So far, so good for this Lucario, who you very much want to get online as fast as possible, but Griefers Reunited, they see that, so they are gonna put a lot of pressure up here. Gonna send 4 members towards this top path to try to slow this thing down.
Yeah, I mean, they read it, right? They understand that there's probably going to be a bunch of people in that top path. So Pikachu also going up there. The birds absolutely disappear, and so does the Sableye going down pretty early on.
That was an incredible play from that Comfey to detach from the Zeraora, and they absorbed that Mewsted auto. I really do think that we'd probably go down if that play isn't made, so great play right there to save your carry.
Yeah, and it is floral healing, so the healing build on the Comfey rather than going with the Sweet Kiss. They're not as worried about getting in on members of the enemy team, I guess. They expect that they'll be in already, and they want a little bit of that extra healing.
Okay, and we are going to put a little bit more pressure back towards this bottom path, send this Pikachu back down. Lucario holding the top path by itself as Comfey is kind of holding on to this Zeraora, maybe holding their hand a little bit through their own central area. But that means that we might yield this Regidrago over to Griefers United, and they do.
Yeah, I mean, Pikachu gets that KO, but oh, look at them on less than 1 HP. The Solar Beam from Mew almost takes them out there. So now the Griefers Reunited has that Groudon buff. They can opt to look for an opportunity to score, but I think that's kind of what Thanos Exodia wants because they are prepared in this top path.
And 4 members up here now. Zeraora retreating back along with that Comfey collar, 720 birds. Lucario does have that fear over its head, knowing that that Sableye is very close. Discharge going to do a lot of work. Unfortunately, do not get the pull. Sableye, good little stun there. And here comes the rest of the damage from Griefers, and they get all of them. Big KOs there.
Yeah, if you don't have any way to deal with the Sableye and you just kind of hope that it shows up at the right time, you'll get something like this, a 4 KO streak from the Dodrio, gonna put in some more points.
Massive stuff here from Griefers early on. Dodrio gonna deal with this Comfey, at least for the time being. More pressure here. Regirock earned on that on that top side of the map based on that T1 goal zone break. And they're gonna go ahead and Unite move just to get out.
Yeah, I mean, Sableye is just so frustrating to deal with, the amount of CC that it has. Plus, it can just kind of walk near you while its passive is active and it's still invisible, and you are obviously shown the icon that Sableye is somewhere around you. And it makes Pokemon on the other side not really know what to do. Like, try to run away, try to walk away, but you can't find where it is. It is definitely devastating.
Regieleki walking towards this T1 goal zone. Thanos Exodia forced to absorb it, forced to defend. Looking for a pull there was that Zeraora. That hunting mission came up a little bit empty, but they are able to go ahead and take care of this Regieleki, salvage their T1 goal zone on this bottom side. Meanwhile, Dodrio on the top side of the map. Additional points going on in for them.
Yeah, but they're being held to 0 points right now on Thanos Exodia. Gonna try to walk in here. Sableye luckily whiffs its Unite move, so they are able to take them down. But here comes the rest of the squadron. Comfey very low. Pikachu goes down here, not able to find anybody else. And Comfey has to pop a Unite move, but everybody really low on Thanos Exodia.
Man, yeah, Griefers are united. They're finding KOs left and right, teaming up with this Mew. I think it's a lot of the coaching that is putting in a decent amount of work, saving. I think some of those shields are kind of coming up a little bit clutch for them. I'm really liking the teamwork that they're using. It's like the scouting from this Sableye to make sure that they understand where the entire side of Thanos Exodia is, set up, and they're kind of following it up with a lot of damage.
Yeah, it's really difficult to counter Dodrio Sableye because it's just kind of, they're all over your map all the time, and there's nothing really that you can do. You can't really do anything about it. You're trying to safe farm a little bit. It doesn't matter. The Sableye's somehow also there. They're always in your enemy jungle, and they can zone so well that it allows this Zacian and, to just rip down objectives.
4 points in this bottom T2. Dodrio does find a little bit additional. Suicune trying to put a little bit of stop to that. Sableye makes the ultimate sacrifice, making sure that Dodrio is able to escape. But now, Thanos Exodia sending 4 members all the way down towards this Regieleki. They do not want to yield this, so we are going to already put a little bit of damage on it. I think it leashed a little bit, so unfortunately all that damage all for naught. Griefers are united, trying to respond, trying to get in there. Snorlax going to get met by a Volt Tackle. Here comes Zeraora. Here comes all the Unite moves. Pikachu coming on in. Zeraora able to take that Regieleki.
But look at that triple trample coming in, hits 3. Zeraora is hanging on by a thread here, but they do go down, getting a ton of KOs. Our Griefers United, and even though Thanos Exodia was able to secure the Regieleki, they will not win the war this time.
Good stuff here from Griefers are United. They yield that Regieleki, unfortunately, but they win that team fight, earning themselves a ton of experience. I mean, look at these levels.
Yeah, this is definitely leaning more in favor of Griefers Reunited than we have seen in the previous games. And they did win game number 1, but instead they gave away game number 2, but it doesn't really look like that would have been the case with the way that they're playing game 3.
2:59 on the clock, 2:33 on the scoreboard for Griefers United, and continuing to put a pressure on the right side of the map is the Snorlax, making sure that Thanos Exodia is not leaving these goal zones unoccupied. You have a lot of scoring pressure, not only from this Dodrio Sableye, but this Snorlax finding a little bit more in the bottom path. That's 22 to be exact, as 4 members of Thanos Exodia trying to converge on this Regirock. Griefers United unable to get on in.
Yeah, I mean, anything they can get would be really helpful. Just a little bit of extra experience. Suicune goes down to the backside, so even though the Regirock did go over to Thanos Exodia, the Suicune does go down. 2 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock. Pikachu also going down here, forcing Thanos Exodia backward.
Look at these levels. 15 seconds in. Level 14's on the side of Griefers United. This is going to be really tough for Thanos to get back into this.
Yeah,
they might set for a rip.
6 minutes, 6 seconds. Yeah, they could go for a rip here. They definitely have the advantage, and they're zoning everybody out. Zeraora is trapped here behind the Snorlax, and the Sableye to rip us down. And there is the Zacian Unite move, gets the final secure. Almost had it there, the Mega Lucario, but it's not going to be enough. Griefers Reunited will take this one, but Thanos Exodia did pick up 1 KO on this Dodrio.
Massive stuff here. 3 KOs for the Zacian. Ooh. Everybody down for Thanos Exodia. Looking for the GG. 70 points on in. There it is. Griefers Reunited. Reunited against Lunex Gaming next round. They're moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, they just did not have a way to deal with the Sableye and the Dodrio. They didn't, like, the Sableye was so devastating, and the amount of times that they just walk in and get the Dodrio out of situations they absolutely should not have been able to get out of. It is really the Orange Juicers classic team comp.
I mean, really, right? You have the Zacian, which, OG would normally be manning. You have the Kratos special with that Dodrio rolling on the Sableye. I mean, this is basically Orange Juicers. You have Flareon's Froggy on the Mew. I mean, it certainly looked like them.
Yeah, yeah, it really. I like seeing the Dodrio come out 3 games in a row as well. It's a Pokemon that is always very good, and they always want to make it not good. But if you do play it with the correct team composition, you know how to play a Pokemon like that. It's really powerful.
Insane stuff. They're moving forward. Oops, I actually put the wrong point on the wrong team. That's my bad. There we go. It was flipped in my little spreadsheet majig. Yeah, 2-1. Griefers are united. Good stuff here. 61k from the Mew. Unfortunately, Thanos Exodia, they're going to be going down to that lower side bracket where it is best of 1. Their night's not over, but they do have an uphill battle if they want to get to your grand finals.
Yeah, I mean, for a round 1 match, that was a very exciting couple of games that we saw. I think that Griefers Reunited really found their groove there in a different way than we saw from Thanos Exodia throughout. It seemed like Griefers Reunited in game 1 was definitely playing from behind, and then by the time game 3 rolled around, they really knew what they were doing, and they really took it to them.
Insane stuff. All right, well, let's start to maybe think about our next round matchup. I believe I'm looking at our bracket. I believe that's mostly Tut One Coin, Tut Kalos MZ. I believe that's, yeah, it's a lot of the Tut One Coin squad that we've seen plenty of times. And then they are going to be taking on either Enigma Esports or Unga Bunga in our second round. So that one's going to be certainly a battle. Oh, there she is.
Sorry. Yeah, I realized my camera was heavily lagging, so I just refreshed it real quick. That should be good. But yeah, got a lot of good Pokemon Unite coming up tonight.
Insane stuff already. Let's go ahead and take a quick break. We'll get that next round matchup set up. Reminder, utilize the ! donate chat command. Utilize the... There, down that way. I always mess it up that way. It's down there. It's down that way. The QR code down there. Husky is raising money for Diabetes Awareness Month here in November. She has some good campaign options. Going to be hosting Dono-a-thon tomorrow. So make sure to go ahead and do that and help her cure diabetes. Not cure. Because you can't.
I'm curing it.
There's no cure, unfortunately.
I am curing it.
But aware.
There's no cure, but we're always 5 years away.
We're 5 years away.
Always 5 years away from a cure.
Imagine. But either way, let's go ahead and take a break. We'll see you back on the other side with our round 2 matchup. So don't go too far, folks. See you more after the break. I need to find my button. There we go. Found the button.
Look for a rip here on Groudon. It's getting close to half.
Yeah, it's already at half. Very low. Here comes a fly from Talonflame. They're going to look for it, but the coup de grace! It's going to be Aegislash that secures it. Now Sugar Rush is getting absolutely dissolved. 4 KOs. Snorlax going to be the next to fall. Adorable Wolves. They're going to win this set 2-0.
That was a really, really tough one. I mean, the Talon, I thought for sure the fly ended up having it, but it really did just come down to that flip in the end. I think the call from
really tough, gonna get some shielding to Ian, and with 2 down, Ian's gonna look towards onto this Groudon. Already at half HP, Smuglax trying to get in, Liko trying to line up a snipe shot. Cute Charm is gonna pull him away, but it is Liko! Just in time, they steal the Groudon! Version 1 wipes him from the map, and they are gonna win your Underdunk 61. Man. To push forward, Garchomp move, Unite move into the back line, gonna damage the Suicune, send them back to the Pokemon Center. They weren't able to use that Unite move. Groudon now at half HP. Zoroark, oh, they get caught out, unable to use their Unite move. NA has one final shot to try to steal this away and salvage the game. Do they have it in them? They do! Huge Garchomp Dragon!
Damage, unfortunately, it is being healed up quite a lot by this Clefable. What an engagement there by the Garchomp. Takes down Lucario very instantly.
Talonflame goes down as well, though. Purple Kevin on this Hoopa is bringing in the team with the rings unbound. They're dangerously low, but Regieleki going to walk towards that T1 goal zone. Hoopa is down. Rest of the reinforcements are here for version 1. Whoa. And it is going to be the Blaziken getting a double KO. And a snipe shot finds the back line, too. Focus Blast is going to force out a Unite move from Glaceon. They're going to be able to find any damage anyway. Oh, the Hornleys misses the Hoopa portal, and Blaziken gets to safety. Here's that Unite move from Trevenant. Oh, Zacian's going to be the first to fall here. Trevenant also getting chopped down to size. Glaceon down as well in version 1. Scrambling, trying to find anything on Bibs in full control of this game.
Yeah, just kind of getting picked apart. I do got to admire Smuglax's attempt there on the Trevenant.
Look for a rip here on Groudon. It's getting close to half.
Yeah, it's already at half. Very low. Here comes a fly from Talonflame. They're going to look for it, but the coup de grace! It's going to be Aegislash that secures it. Now Sugar Rush is getting absolutely dissolved. 4 KOs. Snorlax going to be the next to fall. Adorable Wolves. They're going to win this set 2-0.
That was a really, really tough one. I mean, the Talon, I thought for sure the fly ended up having it, but it really did just come down to that flip in the end. I think the call from
Tough gonna get some shielding to Ian, and with 2 down, Ian's gonna look towards onto this Groudon. Already at half HP, Smuglax trying to get in. Liko trying to line up a snipe shot. Cute Charm is gonna pull him away, but it is Liko! Just in time, they steal the Groudon. Version 1 wipes him from the map, and they are gonna win your Underdunk 61.
Man.
To push forward, Garchomp move, Unite move into the back line, gonna damage this Suicune, send them back to the Pokemon Center. They weren't able to use that Unite move. Groudon now at half HP. Zoroark, oh, they get caught out, unable to use their Unite move. NA has one final shot to try to steal this away and salvage the game. Do they have it in them? They do! Huge Garchomp Dragon!
Damage, unfortunately, this lead heals up quite a lot by this Clefable. What an engagement there by the Garchomp. Takes down Lucario very instantly.
Talonflame goes down as well, though. Purple Kevin on this Hoopa is bringing in the team with the rings unbound. They're dangerously low, but Regieleki gonna walk towards that T1 goal zone. Hoopa is down. Rest of the reinforcements are here for version 1. And it is gonna be the Blaziken getting a double KO. And a snipe shot finds the back line, too. Focus Blast is going to force out a Unite move from Glaceon. They're going to be able to find any damage anyway. Oh, the Hornleys misses the Hoopa portal, and Blaziken gets to safety. Here's that Unite move from Trevenant. Oh, Zacian's going to be the first to fall here. Trevenant also getting chopped down to size. Glaceon down as well in version 1. Scrambling, trying to find anything on Bibs in full control of this game.
Yeah, just kind of getting picked apart. I do got to admire Smuglax's attempt there on the Trevenant.
Look for a rip here on Groudon. It's getting close to half.
Yeah, it's already at half. Very low. Here comes a fly from Talonflame. They're going to look for it, but the coup de grace! It's going to be Aegislash that secures it. Now Sugar Rush is getting absolutely dissolved. 4 KOs. Snorlax going to be the next to fall. Adorable Wolves. They're going to win this set 2-0.
That was a really, really tough one. I mean, the Talon, I thought for sure the fly ended up having it, but it really did just come down to that flip in the end. I think the call from
Tough gonna get some shielding to Ian, and with 2 down, Ian's gonna look towards onto this Groudon. Already at half HP, Smuglax trying to get in. Liko trying to line up a snipe shot. Cute Charm is gonna pull him away, but it is Liko! Just in time, they steal the Groudon. Version 1 wipes him from the map, and they are gonna win your Underdunk 61.
Man.
To push forward, Garchomp move, Unite move into the back line, gonna damage this Suicune, send them back to the Pokemon Center. They weren't able to use that Unite move. Groudon now at half HP. Zoroark, oh, they get caught out, unable to use their Unite move. NA has one final shot to try to steal this away and salvage the game. Do they have it in them? They do! Huge Garchomp Dragon!
damage. unfortunately, this lead heals up quite a lot by this Clefable. One engagement there by the Garchomp. Takes down Lucario very instantly.
Talonflame goes down as well, though. Purple Kevin on this Hoopa is bringing in the team with the rings unbound. They're dangerously low, but Regieleki gonna walk towards that T1 goal zone. Hoopa is down. Rest of the reinforcements are here for version 1. And it is gonna be the Blaziken getting a double KO. And a snipe shot finds the back line, too. Focus Blast is going to force out a Unite move from Glaceon. They're going to be able to find any damage anyway. Oh, the Hornleys misses the Hoopa portal, and Blaziken gets to safety. Here's that Unite move from Trevenant. Oh, Zacian's going to be the first to fall here. Trevenant also getting chopped down to size. Glaceon down as well in version 1. Scrambling, trying to find anything on Bibs in full control of this game.
Yeah, just kind of getting picked apart. I do got to admire Smuglax's attempt there on the Trevenant.
Look for a rip here on Groudon. It's getting close to half.
Yeah, it's already at half. Very low. Here comes a fly from Talonflame. They're going to look for it, but the coup de grace! It's going to be Aegislash that secures it. Now Sugar Rush is getting absolutely dissolved. 4 KOs. Snorlax going to be the next to fall. Adorable Wolves. They're going to win this set 2-0.
That was a really, really tough one. I mean, the Talon, I thought for sure the Fly ended up having it, but it really did just come down to that flip in the end. I think the call from
really tough, gonna get some shielding to Ian, and with 2 down, Ian's gonna look towards onto this Groudon. Already at half HP, Smuglax trying to get in, Liko trying to line up a snipe shot. Cute Charm is gonna pull him away, but it is Liko! Just in time, they steal the Groudon! Version 1 wipes him from the map, and they are gonna win your Underdunk 61.
Man.
To push forward, Garchomp move, Unite move into the back line, gonna damage the Suicune, send them back to the Pokemon Center. They weren't able to use that Unite move. Groudon now at half HP. Zoroark, oh, they get caught out, unable to use their Unite move. NA has one final shot to try to steal this away and salvage the game. Do they have it in them? They do! Huge Garchomp Dragon!
Damage, unfortunately, this lead heals up quite a lot by this Clefable. One engagement there by the Garchomp. Takes down Lucario very instantly.
Talonflame goes down as well, though. Purple Kevin on this Hoopa is bringing in the team with the rings unbound. They're dangerously low, but Regieleki gonna walk towards that T1 goal zone. Hoopa is down. Rest of the reinforcements are here for version 1. And it is gonna be the Blaziken getting a double KO. And a snipe shot finds the back line, too. Focus Blast is going to force out a Unite move from Glaceon. They're going to be able to find any damage anyway. Oh, the Hornleys misses the Hoopa portal, and Blaziken gets to safety. Here's that Unite move from Trevenant. Oh, Zacian's going to be the first to fall here. Trevenant also getting chopped down to size. Glaceon down as well in version 1. Scrambling, trying to find anything on Bibs in full control of this game.
Yeah, just kind of getting picked apart. I do got to admire Smuglax's attempt there on the Trevenant.
And welcome back on in Pokemon Unite Trainers, Underdunk number 65. We are back and we have the next matchup. Tut Kalos MZ. That's a lot to say. We're going to have to figure that out. And Enigma Esports going to be in your round 2 matchup. We just saw, oh my gosh, Griefers Reunited.
I just saw, Griefers Reunited and Thanos Exodia.
Thanos Exodia. We have Thanos Exodia and we have a regular Exodia, which is going to be, hopefully we don't have to cover that matchup if it happens.
Yeah, it's gonna be, that would be interesting. But with this one, Enigma Esports just come out of also a 3-game set that they won against Oonga Boongos. So this should turn out to be an interesting one in round 2.
Let's take a look at our graphics while we have a moment. We started to talk about them, and then the game so rudely interrupted. But taking a look at our most banned from the Groudon Gauntlet, about 10 days ago, 14 days, not 10, about 10 days ago at this point. 12 days? I don't know. Time is a circle, I think, sometimes. Our most banned Pokemon, we've still seen banned that Mega Charizard X, despite getting nerfed in this most recent patch. But we've seen Mega Lucario a couple of times today and seen some mixed results.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, Mega Lucario just doesn't really seem like it's doing a ton, honestly. But it's still very strong. I guess I just haven't seen it look that great.
Yeah. It doesn't look like dominant like it had prior to the nerf. Still, like, things that are still very strong, as you see in kind of the center of our screen. The typical support Pokemon, obviously Suicune, technically an all-rounder, typically more of a supporting class Pokemon, where's that EXP share. But those Pokemon, a lot of teams are electing to ban them just because of how strong they can be and how game-changing they can be. When we talk about our most played Pokemon, obviously we've seen Snorlax a few times tonight. A lot of these Pokemon tend to skirt those ban phases.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is interesting. So the Snorlax doesn't usually get banned because there's just so many Pokemon that need those ban slots, but it's picked quite a lot. You can see over 50% of the time, and it also has an over 50% win rate. In fact, the only Pokemon that's picked, that's on this list that has under a 50% win rate is that Blastoise. And we know how much I'm a top path Blastoise hater.
And it was like primarily played in that top path too, which I'm sure that you got to be patting yourself on the back right now. I can't
right,
see
always.
you, but I'm pretty sure you are.
I am. My back is padded.
You and Chad are Kyle. What's his name? K-Suff. Another Kyle. Also notorious Blastoise hater.
Really?
Yeah, hates top hat Blastoise.
I would like to acknowledge any similarity that I might have with K-Suff. I'm very proud of that. So I'm glad. But honestly, a 48% win rate in, a competitive environment is really not that bad. It's still basically a coin flip. Pretty much, if you round up, if you go by rounding rules, basically a coin flip. But the fact that all of these most picked Pokemon, almost all of them, have above that 50% win rate is very interesting.
Interesting indeed. Well, let's get into our game action. Game number 1, round number 2. We're going to see Tut Kalos. Going to be on your purple side. They are going to have that first option for a ban, and they are going to ban one of those supporting Pokemon.
Interesting. So we haven't seen Clefable banned yet or picked in the previous set. So it's interesting to see that it's already getting put on the chopping block here. I guess they just really don't want to see... It's likely they have some sort of strategy that they don't want the enemy team to be able to heal a lot of the damage that they're going to be doing. So I'm interested to see how this ends up shaking out in terms of bans. Looks like Mimikyu being banned as well. Darkrai also in that ban slot.
I don't blame it. I think Mimikyu is one of the Pokemon that got buffed in this most recent patch, and I've seen it played a few times on ladder since it got buffed, and it's been kind of terrorizing the ladder. So don't blame them one bit for going ahead and just banning that thing out. I think it's really strong, especially in the right hands. And that Pokemon seemingly has always been like a small buff away from being viable back into the competitive circuit.
Gengar also being banned. They don't want to give that over to Tut Kalos. I forget who plays it. Is it Overtony who plays the Gengar on their team? I think it might be. But that does mean that Mega Charizard is available. And with that means that is going to be the first pick.
I am very interested. This is going to be our first Mega Charizard match of the competitive circuit that I've seen. I think every time that we had a broadcast match, obviously it got through, I think, 8 games. I think 96% ban rate. I think it was 7 or 8 games it got through. I didn't see a single one of them I'm very interested to see how it plays. A thing that we did see a ton of in the Groudon Gauntlet, and a thing that I've been playing a ton of, is that Miraidon, and that thing has been fantastic all season.
Yeah, I'm shocked to see that Miraidon wasn't played in the earlier set. It's very strong. I think people kind of forgot how good Miraidon is, and some teams are starting to remember how actually strong it is, but I am, glad to see that one come out. I am interested to see, what Mega Charizard and like the Megas in general will do with LAIC, which starts tomorrow morning. I really want to know how much these are being prioritized, because what we have seen is that they're still pretty busted.
I'm looking at this composition, and yeah, Psyduck once again. We saw it, I believe it was it game number 1 or 2 in our previous set, and I think it worked pretty well. I mean, this Pokemon is kind of, it had its moment in the limelight where it was picked just an insane amount of times. It got nerfed, and it got nerfed, and it got nerfed again. And teams kind of like, okay, we're done with these disruptive supports, at least this disruptive support. It's no longer the play. But I think like maybe teams are starting to work this Pokemon back into their rotation.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. But again, we're seeing the Pikachu come out on the other side. And then we're also seeing Buzzwole. So more brawl heavy from Enigma Esports, just trying to set up both of these all-rounders. And I get, like, maybe it's enough for the Mega Charizard, like, to be able to deal with it. But as soon as this thing gets Mega, I feel like it's still, even with the nerfs, just absolutely unstoppable.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure we're going to see some nutty numbers when the final screens show up. Taking a look at the item set as well. So they have that Excel Bracer to, kind of chain those KOs and the additional damage from KOs and assists. And then it has that big root, right? Like, when it's in that mega form, it's going to recover a lot of its HP from dishing out damage. So even more so with that item.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one, but like you said about the Psyduck, we could see like the battle of the CC kind of coming through here with the support defender core from both sides, but it should be a really interesting matchup. It's interesting to me that the Zeraora has kind of made it back in. It's always been strong, but it definitely isn't considered the strongest speedster right now.
Game number 1, Tut Kalos versus Enigma. Zeraora heading towards the central area. And it is going to be the Torchic on the other side for Enigma. So Fire Starter, normally in the top path, going to be taking that central area.
Yeah, Fire Starter. I hardly know her instead. I guess you would rather have the Buzzwole go into the top path because it doesn't really get the central area very well. And having more experience on the Blaziken just means that it gets to level 7 faster. So I do like this play.
Good secure there from Pikachu, taking that away from a Miraidon Snorlax bottom path. Not an easy task. Both of those Pokemon had fantastic early games, so any additional experience that you could get is going to be in the favor of Enigma. Good little headache timed up there from that Psyduck, pushing back that Buzzwole Chansey. But Zeraora is going to go right onto that Buzzwole, forcing the eject button. No KO found, though.
Wow, great play there from the Zeraora. Gives the Charizard the secure over on that ball toy. Really important to get this Charizard up to level 5 as soon as possible, and then just basically speed run to level 9 as quickly as you can.
4v4 up in the top path. No KOs found just yet. Zeraora looking to go on in, but is Combusted barely escaping on 1 HP. Gonna retreat back to their central area through that home goal zone, and gonna go back into their jungle, grab all of those buffs.
Yeah, Zeraora now at level 5.5-ish. Miraidon also just reaches level 5 here. We really need that Charmander online as soon as you can. Even after it seemed like Enigma lost in that early part of the game, Buzzwole still ends up at level 5. It's still going to be really strong. It's just difficult to keep this thing from leveling up.
Not only that, but they're kind of winning now. You also have that Blissey that's getting closer and closer to getting its double set of eggs, because it is a healing build in this current iteration of Blissey. I think lately we've seen a lot of healer stocks up.
Yeah, the healing is coming back. For a while, it was just like safeguard and more harassing focused supports, but we are seeing teams pivot back into healing, especially when you have a lot of brawl in your front line. Zeraora will get this secure on the Regidrago. They're going to start moving back toward the top path, trying to prevent this Buzzwole and this Blaziken from doing some damage.
30 points still go on in from Blaziken. They are going to make it out. Oh, maybe not. Zeraora on hot pursuit. Oh, it's Charmeleon, though, that's able to pick up that KO. Good pull there from that Psyduck on the Buzzwole. And an enhanced charge beam from the Miraidon sends them way back into their own flux zone. Unfortunately, unable to get the KO, but still a lot of pressure here from the Psyduck.
Yeah, great pickup there from the Charizard as well, because now they are at that level 7. Big pull there!
Oh.
But still, the superpower does come out. Buzzwole will go down. A little bit of a shield here on the Zeraora. Eventually, they will get taken out, but it always is exciting to see a big pull.
Double KO for Blaziken, takes out that Charizard. They are level 9 now. Now moving towards this T1, now deciding to back up a little bit, but unfortunately get pulled right back on in from this Psyduck. And now we have both sets of objectives up here. Registeel in the top path, Regieleki in the bottom path. Pushing forward Enigma, looking to damage the Registeel. You have a good secure on this Blaziken. Miraidon, though, charging through with that charge beam. Blaziken getting stunned up by that Psyduck, but overheat is true. They get it. Got a double KO on the backside for the Zeraora.
Yeah, I mean, Zeraora does pick up a couple KOs, but you still can't out-secure that overheat. They will be able to pick up the KO on that Blaziken, though. Now just the Blissey is there to defend. Here comes the Umbreon as well. Big Snarl hits all 4. Psyduck goes down, and Enigma will still force Tuck Kalos backward.
I like that mean look on that Psyduck just to make sure that it goes down in that moment. Maybe not the biggest KO, but a KO is a KO, especially when you are that supportive class Pokemon. I mean, I guess defender, but playing a more supportive role with that mean look. Now you have this Zeraora trying to take out this central area, but both of those EXP shareholders are trying to take it away from the Zeraora. Unfortunately, they are unable to get really any of it. Mean look for the Zeraora, maybe just to slow it down.
It's really tough for Tuck Kalos if you're running a comp like this with a lot of movement from the Zeraora to deal with something like a mean look Umbreon, because it really can just shut you down. So Tuck Kalos has to make sure that they are baiting out that mean look really kind of before they let this Zeraora engage, and that's what we're looking to do right now. It does not come out quite yet. Snorlax, though, does push the Umbreon toward the rest of the team.
Umbreon getting some vision. Pikachu utilizing their Unite move. Zeraora going down for Tuck Kalos. Now the position is all Enigmas. They're going to try to start damaging this Regieleki, but Miraidon firing these charge beams from the back line, finding a lot of damage. Buzzwole just nearly skirting a lot of the damage. There's a big overheat. There's the Unite move for Miraidon. Miraidon gets a Regieleki.
Wow, the Bright Future Meteor Storm comes in with a secure there. It's not what you'd expect, but it's definitely not what you'd expect against a Blaziken, who does go down to the Zeraora. Now Tuck Kalos is going to continue to push forward. Mean Look does hit the Zeraora. They're not going to be able to get their 31 points in just yet, but the Regieleki does hit.
Big hit from that Regieleki. Gonna allow some points to go on in. Allow a triple KO for the Zeraora, and Tuck Kalos, while it wasn't looking quite good for them early with that Blaziken scaling, they have found their footing here in the mid-game. 184-60, and more points being found on the bottom side.
Yeah, definitely a good call for Tuck Kalos to move in. They now have over a 100-point lead. Regice, though, is in the top path, and 4 members of Enigma are going to try to break this goal zone. Should be easily able to. Still behind in terms of points, but they definitely have the advantage in terms of positioning for this fight.
And Regice now getting chipped down to about half. Nice little punch here from that Buzzwole, but Charizard taking the nut to the skies. Buzzwole going down, Zeraora taking care of them. Now into the back line, Charizard finds their way. Snorlax blocks the way. Enigma Esports unable to go on in. Regice recharging, getting leashed up. Great play from that charge beam Miraidon, damaging these health bars very much, forcing Enigma all the way back to their T1. Regice still not being taken by either team.
Good Bliss Assist to save the Umbreon, but Still very low HP. Zeraora with a close call there will take down the Blaziken. But here comes Buzzwole. They're not able to take anybody down. The charge beam. Just so much damage coming on top of Enigma Esports. And Regice still getting very low. There are a couple members of Enigma there, but again with the Miraidon getting the secure.
Insane work from Miraidon. I think that might have been just a basic, maybe a boosted basic that got it. And, I mean, we got to look at the damage numbers from this Miraidon when it's all said and done. Regidrago still on the map for these teams, but they have really not prioritized it so far. They mostly just want to maybe try to get this Regieleki on the bottom side since they do still have position.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I feel like a lot of time Regieleki is the objective that tends to be prioritized in this meta. But also at this point, if you're Tuck Kalos, you have that goal zone open. So you might assume that Enigma is going to come down there and look for an opportunity. So instead, looking for vision and looking for opportunities to position. Zeraora may have been spotted out there. Now they definitely are with the Thunder coming down there, but not enough for Enigma to get into a good position. Psyduck might be getting caught. 4 members of Enigma are going to converge on top of them, but Zeraora is there to deal some damage, push them back out.
They're looking for that pull, too. Unfortunately, unable to get it. It was a skill shot, unfortunately, not going their way for Tuck Kalos. Now Enigma still poking and prodding. I think that's one of the benefits of having this Pikachu.
Yeah, the Pikachu with the poke damage. It's the mage build on the Pika. So more attacker style rather than like this supportive style that we see from Volt Tackle. So it can just do a lot of annoying amounts of damage to try to deal with what the Miraidon is doing to their team as well. And with Lissy though, can just heal a lot of that right up. Tuck Kalos does not need this objective, but they definitely want to make sure that they're not giving Enigma an opportunity to rip it, especially with a Blaziken on their side.
Mean look directly on over Tony with that Zeraora, but no follow-up damage from Enigma. Neither team really wants to yield any of their position. Overheat unable to hit the mark on that Zeraora. Great Volt Switch to avoid a lot of that damage. Here comes Miraidon. Oh, there's that engage point that we were looking for. All the Unite moves being fallen down from the sky. There's Psyduck trying to reduce some of the damage. Snorlax with a great heavy slam block engage, but Blaziken's the first to fall. Buzzwole also going down to the hands of Zeraora. Blissey retreating, trying to heal themselves up with eggs, but pulled by a great Psychic from Psyduck.
And Zeraora also comes back in to finish out that Blissey. That's a triple KO streak for them, but they don't need the Groudon. They really don't have the Rip. Instead, you may as well just look for an opportunity to score. Zeraora baits the Pikachu down to the bottom path. Psyduck will go down for 41 points, make it 82 into the top.
And that's going to be probably all she wrote. 10 seconds left. Zeraora able to take out that Pikachu. Unable to get their 50 points in. Buzzwole dealing with them, but it doesn't matter. Tuck Kalos, enough points on in. No Groudon needed. Game 1 victory.
Game 1 victory to Tuck Kalos. There was a minute there where Enigma in the early game especially was doing really well, but Tuck Kalos caught up. We had that Mega Charizard on their side as well. I honestly didn't see too much from that Pokemon that was outstanding, but a lot of time they were fighting off lane. So they only got 1 KO. The star of the show was really the Zeraora.
Yeah, Zeraora looked fantastic, as you see. 13 KOs for them. 2 assists. Dr. Mario on that Miraidon for 10. But yeah, like you said, Mega Charizard had its moments, but definitely not the star of the show. Very powerful Pokemon, very tanky, hard to take down in that Mega, but man, you gotta give it up for the damage dealers to follow up with a lot of these engage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I really do like with the Zeraora that you also have the Psyduck there, just setting the Zeraora up over and over again. And then the Miraidon in the back line. So much damage and no one could really reach it. I'm interested to see how much damage the Miraidon took because I feel like, yeah, only 22,000. Barely took any damage, and look at how much damage it did. No one could touch it, and it was just dealing those enhanced charge beams the entire time.
Yeah, I think like that's kind of the thing. When you don't have a speedster that could get onto this Miraidon, your options are limited, right? Like there's not a whole lot of Pokemon that outrange it. It's certainly not that Pikachu. I mean, there's a couple of things, Snipe, Shot, and Teleon comes to mind. level 13 Venusaur does as well. But at that point, like, Miraidon has an incredible amount of range. It's pretty safe. The damage reduction from the electric terrain that it lays. I mean, there's so many great tools with it, and there's so many upsides, and you're seeing exactly why. I think it was one of the top win rate Pokemon of our large tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine we'll be seeing a lot of Miraidon come out in LAIC because attackers are generally very, not necessarily niche, but there's really only a few that have been performing really well, and very consistently as well. So if you do want that range backline, I feel like Miraidon and Mew and Alolan Raichu are kind of the standout ones at the moment. Obviously, there's a couple others that specific players will bring in. You know, you see Inteleon still sometimes. You even see things like Greninja or Cinderace sometimes, depending on the team or the player. But consistently, the attacker class is really just there for poke, and it can get shut down very easily as well. Miraidon is one of the few that doesn't as easily just get shut down.
Yeah, I when I play Miraidon, the things that I'm looking for to, like, I need to avoid this thing at all costs. Leafeons, Dodrios, really any speedster, and then a couple other things like the Mimikyus that can kind of like dodge through with those shadow sneaks. So really, like, any of those like assassin style Pokemon are going to be what shut down those Miraidons. But you have to watch out too, right? Like, if you have a good team like Tut is, you're going to be ready. You're going to have like with their current composition, like they had that Charizard, they had that Zeraora that can pounce on those things that want to get to that back line. So yes, Miraidon's fantastic and it's really good and it's hard to take down, but a good team is a good team, and I think this Tut's a pretty good team.
Yeah, I mean, Miraidon in the backline is another one of those things where it's like, yes, an all-rounder or a brawl-style composition can shut down attackers, which is, you know, why we see attackers falling more out of favor and some all-rounders kind of being more in favor. But it's kind of really about that support and defender core that you build around it that can prevent those dive style all-rounders or, you know, extra damage from things like Mage Pikachu to actually be able to get back in there. And I think because of the hindrance resistance as well, it just makes Miraidon so much more valuable.
True.
And I like attackers. Personally, I play like most of them, and it does still seem like the amount of damage that Charge Beam, like Enhanced Charge Beam, puts out is still really strong. The problem I think that some teams have with it is that it takes a bit to set up. But on the counter, Miraidon doesn't have to evolve or anything. Like, it doesn't need to reach very specific level breakpoints. It can even support. Throw the EXP share on it. But yeah, it is just a very good Pokemon. I imagine we'll continue to see a lot of it. Another attacker that I thought we'd be seeing more of is Espeon, and I haven't really seen too much of it, at least tonight yet. This is only the second round that we're seeing. But Espeon got a buff because of EV Festival to stored power. So I was kind of expecting, like, hey, maybe, you know, we'll see more support style Espeon, like mid-range attacker style Espeon. But the range that it has isn't necessarily like a super far range, but it does do very consistent damage if you're playing against a lot of dive, I think.
Yeah, it's like you said, you just made the best point. It does really well against those diving Pokemon, especially the speedsters. Maybe not like all of the speedsters, but that Unite move can be really polarizing, right? A Pokemon dives in one of those big key fights and pop that Psychic Solaire, and they're trapped in an endless amount of crowd control. Have your damage dealers, other damage dealers follow up. I think it's a great tool to have. The lock-on ability, like you said, with stored power is really good at those high mobility targets because you don't have to worry about those skill shots like with Psyshock. And Psyshock also fantastic, but against those high mobility, it's a little bit more difficult, but I don't know. We'll see if we see it. I also thought that we might see a little bit more because I have seen a decent amount of them on ladder, and they have performed pretty decently.
There's always a lot of, I mean, a lot of people, there's always an EV,
we love
you know,
EVs.
and especially right now, there's like the EV Festival. Vaporeon just dropped. We still can't get it. I don't know what's good. I don't know what's going on there,
I've
but
watched
it's
a
the
little
most
bit.
broken thing ever.
It looks pretty good.
It's dumb. It's dumb.
Yeah, I
You know,
haven't
it's just
watched a ton, but yeah, it looked pretty powerful.
yeah, just another thing where it's like, oh, Delmise, a nice balanced, fun release, and then Vaporeon, the most broken thing you've ever seen in your life. But I wish that we would be able to get like the opportunity to see Vaporeon in tournaments, but it will take, a couple weeks to be able to do that. Plus, it's busted. So anyway, here's game number 2.
Game number 2, teams swapping sides. Tut's going to be on your orange side. So Enigma has that opportunity to go ahead and get that first pick. So imagine that we will see Tut banning out those broken Pokemon, potentially that Mega Charizard, but Enigma immediately banning this Mimikyu again.
Yeah, so interesting. They definitely don't want to see Mimikyu go over to the other side. And I think that, Tut has been building their bands around the specific composition that they want to draft. And it seems more like Enigma is structuring their bands based on who they don't want to see Tut Kalos playing. So it feels like they're already at more of an advantage because they're playing the game that they want right from the start of the draft.
And we just got a question in chat from Potluck if Vaporeon is worse than the Sylveon release. And that's a good question. I don't know just yet. It's Sylveon was
I feel like no,
so
because
different.
it was Sylveon was like the first, like one of like the first things that was ever broken. And at this point we still like expect that there'll be things that are super broken on release. I think just people were so shocked about Sylveon because it was like that seminal breaking Pokemon,
It was insane. Like,
but
I
it might be
remember
worse,
that.
like stats wise.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember. Everyone knows where they. It's like everyone knows where they were when Princess Diana died. Everyone knows where they were when 9/11. Everyone knows where they were. Sylveon release.
True. Yeah, I was on my couch downstairs playing it, and yeah, I remember I was like, "Holy cow!" Just like every move set, you're doing like 150, 200k damage with this thing. Insane stuff. But look at this Husky. Mega Charizard's getting through that second phase.
Yeah, so not picked first or second.
Yeah.
Instead, Tut wants that Miraidon back. I don't blame them, honestly. Maybe taking the Charizard over the Umbreon, but they have a game that they want to play. Tut Kalos really liked how it worked previously, and I think they just want to look to potentially run that comp back and see if it holds up against this Mega Charizard.
I don't blame them. I think it worked pretty well that they are going to grab this Psyduck. I do kind of see what we're doing with the Psyduck Umbreon core. Being able to not only lock down this Charizard, but with the mean look, but you're also able to lock it down with Psychic. Hit the Psychic, push it away from your team. If you're able to kind of slow down this Charizard, especially when it's in that Mega form, you have a lot of tools to do so.
Yeah, I mean, they liked the comp that they have, and I think that they felt that the only thing that made them struggle a little bit was having Umbreon with Mean Look on the other side. So they wanted to take that away from them, and they might look to pivot over here with their last pick. They will. We actually will get a Metagross.
Okay, so heavy brawl here. So I imagine that this Metagross is kind of geared to, hit a lot of these targets during those brawling moments with that Gyro Ball, grab a lot of shields, and really just become a raid boss, right? I mean, you kind of want to be that raid boss against that Mega Charizard, because if you're able to get that level 13 at that Groudon, you don't have a whole lot of options that can take it down quickly.
Yeah, I mean, remember when Metagross was also like the most broken thing?
We've had a lot of broken Pokemon over the years, huh?
Yeah, there's a lot of Pokemon in the game. A lot of them have been released pretty broken. So we have a lot to reminisce on in the timeline of Pokemon Unite, but I like to see Leafeon come out here. I think that this is a good answer to the difficulty that Miraidon posed for this team previously. And you know, Tut didn't change much up. They switched out their all-rounder. We've got Metagross now. They might think that it could last a little bit longer against Mega Charizard, enough for the burst damage from Zeraora to be able to come in and finish it off. But I think this Leafeon is definitely going to pose a threat to their backline.
I think so too. Do you think, here's the question, we did receive a Solar Blade buff for Leafeon. Do we get it there here in game number 2? Enigma on your left, Tut on your right.
I don't know. I played a couple games of Solar Blade just to test it out. I feel like Razor Leaf provides a lot of value, and I don't think they'll need the Solar Blade because they have Mew in the backline, but I could see them pivoting to more, you know, mid-range burst if they didn't have an attacker on their side. I imagine we will still see Razor Leaf.
And we are going to have this Metagross try to grab a lot of this experience. Psyduck's doing a really good job of kind of ensuring these last hits are going the way of Tut. And it's not an easy thing to do because it's not a notoriously good burst damage Pokemon.
Yeah, it does take a lot of damage there. The passive was procced enough to force Enigma back a little bit, but so far the top pass seems to be going Enigma's way. Only a short rotation here from this Leafeon, just enough to get level 4 and make it up to the top path, but Zeraora is prepared for it. They take down the Charmander pretty easily.
It is a Razor Leaf on this Leafeon. Damages a couple of Pokemon, retreats back a little bit just to get ready for these 850 Altaria family. A little bit of a rotation here. Mew is going to make it a 4-piece combo along with the Charmander for this attack here as to respond to Kalos, right? I mean, both of the teams kind of traded there. No KOs found either way.
Yeah, nobody going down there in that exchange. Both the defenders just in the bottom path, able to get that secure, the Umbreon, I believe, with the fake tears, taking that one. Leafeon will head back into the central area. So far, very passive game from both of these teams, but I don't think that was their initial goal. I just think no one has really been able to find a good engage point.
Yeah, and ooh, that's a good hit on that Crustle. I'm not sure if that broke the focus bend. Couldn't exactly see that health bar, but it's very well might have. The big thing here, I think, for Enigma is trying to feed a lot of this XP into this Charmeleon. You want to get that online as fast as possible. Ooh, snuffed out right there. Gonna maybe get a KO with this Metagross that they're able to get their their cooldown, and they do.
Yeah, great call from the Metagross. You just want to do as much as you can to make sure this Charmeleon can't do anything. Even if you have to send a couple people into the central area to look for an invade, to see great pull there. Zeraora able to take down the Suicune, and now Charmeleon, not really much they can do. They're going to look for the Metagross, not able to get the shield out in time. That's going to be huge for them.
That's a big level that you yield that way. They're able to find another piece of experience. They're going to get their evolution, but instead they just get the back of the Pokemon Center. A couple Pokemon respond. Suicune, Mew trying to get onto this side up, but here comes over Tony, taking the Mew down with him.
Wow, the Psyduck with the Psychics perfectly timed, just able to set this Zeraora up. Pulls the Suicune once again. Zeraora with a double KO streak. So strong here for both of these players. The Psyduck just perfectly sets up the Zeraora to be able to make some massive plays.
92-0, Kalos in the driver's seat early on. Regieleki, they already broke that T1, so this is looking to push towards the T2. Enigma setting up on the T2, looking to defend. No Unite move for this Charizard X. 3 members pushing. Mew connects with the Solar Beam. Suicune able to take out the Psyduck. Metagross still a Matang, looking to try to go on in. Unite move from Zeraora. They're going to try to retreat. They do just barely get away from the Charizard. No! Oh! Charizard does it! They get him! They get the Unite move. Metagross also going down.
Yeah, well, still a Matang as well. Not quite a Metagross just yet, but the Mega Charizard does come out. I don't know how much Psyduck is going to be able to do against this, honestly. They missed the Psyduck on the Mega Charizard. Passive pops, that could be what saves them. Here comes Miraidon. Can they make it through the Mega Charizard? Look at the damage coming out from that, and they're still Mega Evolved.
Yeah, that's why this Pokemon was banned a lot of the time. Discharge, though, gonna damage a lot, but unfortunately, Leafeon was ready for it and takes the Zeraora down. Now they're looking to maybe break it, but instead they're just gonna deprive Tut from some experience.
Wow, just turns it around right there. Enigma, as soon as they have the Mega Charizard online, it's kind of just over for Tut. They have to back away, especially with the Metagross being far behind at this point. You know, I feel like they gave up that KO when they were ahead, and now it's put Mega Charizard in the position to run away with the fights that they're able to Mega Evolve in.
Overtonio's looking for a pull there, unable to grab it. Basement Reggie still up. Neither team have gotten. This is the first Basement Reggie of the game. Still a Regi Ice, still on the map. Metagross now moving towards it. Umbreon grabbing vision for the rest of the squad. Suicune looking to try to get on in, but a lot of damage found. Regi Ice earned for Kalos.
And look at the zoning here from this Umbreon as well. Pops the Mean Look immediately on the Suicune. Will they be able to push in? Brave Future Meteor Storm is out. And here comes the Leafeon, though, immediately gets destroyed. Kalos moving in.
Disintegrated was that Leafeon, but so does Zeraora. Charizard is able to pick up that Psyduck, and now Kalos on their back heels. Nice little enhanced charge beam prevents anybody from moving forward from Enigma.
I don't know if you saw that X Scissor. I thought for a second Kalos had it. They were moving in. They got a couple KOs, but even before Charizard was there, huge X Scissor on 3 to push them away, and then that gave enough time for Charizard to pick somebody up, and then it was just kind of over.
Yeah, it was a very quick fight, and as most of them have been, there hasn't been a lot of really long, drawn-out fights. Obviously, double speedsters, one on each side, has kind of been the name of the game. And this Mega Charizard looking for a way in on this little bit of a fight over these T1s.
Umbreon uses the Mean Look, which gives Charizard the opportunity to jump in. Big Unite move there, but big Unite move follow up the Emerald 2-step, comes down 2 down for both sides.
Yeah, Umbreon stole a little bit of shields, but still goes down. Big charge beam from this Miraidon. Has been able to do things, but looking up in the top path, all the while, Metagross takes that Regieleki, pushes it all the way into the T2, and scores 40 themselves.
Ooh, look at the Fire Punch coming out from the Charizard. Miraidon gets very low, but able to heal back up pretty quickly from the Wish from the Umbreon. They take down the Charizard. Here comes the Psyduck. Jumps in. This Russell does go down. Leafeon doesn't have another Unite move to spare. Kalos will put in even more points on this bottom path.
Leaving it at 6, potentially setting up for a large overcap. You have the Mean Look directed at the Suicune. They decide to break with 21. Not the biggest overcap, but they're going to find some space. Suicune, the next on the chopping block. Zeraora goes on in on the Crustle, but sees that the Charizard was there. They did not want to overextend. Charizard now going to go into their Unite move. Now going to attach this Umbreon. Great Mean Look. Prevents a KO on the Zeraora or the Miraidon.
And now they just set up the Metagross for perfection right there. Well timed by Kalos. You use the Mean Look while the Charizard is in its Mega form, then you just wait for the Metagross because that's the only Pokemon on your team that can really tank any of the damage from Mega Charizard. Very well played, and you also let the Metagross catch up. So now it's level 13 as opposed to the Charizard level 12. You let it just take the Regieleki in the top path, get some points in, get some stacks, and now it's ahead.
Yeah, very ahead. And now you also have a Registeel buff to deal with at the next 15 seconds before Groudon. In great positioning for Kalos. Enigma Esports very much down in this game. What do they need to do to get back in?
I mean, Enigma has had a couple of good fights. They really need to build off the back of this Mega Charizard and then let the Leafeon clean up with the Emerald 2-step. If you catch the Zeraora or the Miraidon, you're in a really good spot. 60 points go in from the Mew to break that top path, so now they're not as behind, but still 100 points behind.
Metagross setting up in this choke point. Miraidon setting up the electric terrain. Crustle in a bit of trouble into the back line. Gonna hit an X-Scissor on this Umbreon, but they still have their Unite move available. So does Umbreon. Big engage from the Charizard. That's a big shield for Metagross. Taking it up to the skies of the Charizard. Crustle goes down. Umbreon stealing all of those shields away. That's a double KO for them on the back. Leafeon very low. Miraidon damaging them heavily, and 3 are down for Enigma. It's all Tut.
Make that 4. Zeraora, or the Psyduck, found the Leafeon in the backside. Crustle does make it back up, but they were very far forward and couldn't get back to their team. So the Unite move was forced out a little bit earlier than I think they wanted it to be, and it was very well timed from Kalos. As soon as the Mega Charizard jumps up, Umbreon uses the Unite move, takes a bunch of the shields, and you just throw all your damage on top of it. Very well played from Kalos. They're going to be able to take the Leafeon down once again and easily get all these points in.
Mega Charizard X unable to get the win here and salvage Enigma Esports run in the winner's bracket. Kalos depositing a ton of points, over a 500-point lead at this point. Even if they gain a shield or I guess a Groudon buff or two, still uphill battle. This one might be over. Kalos going to be advancing on.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the bracket here, Kyle. Every other winner's quarterfinal match went to 3 games.
That's crazy.
Except this one. I was like, well, I mean, the first one that we saw was like a little bit longer, so now we've actually caught up because everything else went to 3 games.
Beautiful. Love to see it. Huge stuff here. Kalos looking pretty good. They have previously won Underdunk, I believe maybe like 2 or 3 ago. Maybe 4, I can't remember exactly which one that they...
maybe 6 or 7.
Yeah, maybe 6 or 7. 6, 7. Yeah. Is that still a thing? Is 6, 7 still a thing? Have we killed it yet?
I think the millennials ruined it, yeah. I think you guys destroyed it.
Good.
Which is fair. Millennials ruin everything.
I know, it's great. I love being part of that. But either way...
I think anytime a meme is like corporatized.
Oh gosh, yeah.
It's over.
Yeah, once you see it on like I saw it on like the NFL, like all the NFL broadcasts one week, and I was like, oh, it's so over.
Oh yeah, it's done.
it's over.
It's over.
I saw like old newscasters doing it. It's over.
Yeah, it's done. Yeah, that's a pretty good tell of what's not funny anymore when the old people start doing it. I feel like that now with like my students because they're so much younger than me. I'm like, oh, I'm cool. I'm a young professor, and half the time I have no idea what they're talking about.
Skibbity toilet or whatever.
Something like that.
I don't know. 788, 135 going to be your final here. Kalos, also known as the Unknown Team. Thanks for that bit of intel from the chat. Looking pretty good here. Yeah, 86k from Overtony, 77 from Dr. Mario on the Miraidon. So very good showing there in game number 2. Mega Charizard X, not as good of a showing as in game number 1.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Kalos really brought their all to especially game number 2 and really shut down the Mega Charizard in a way I feel like wouldn't have been possible in a solo queue environment or a pre-nerf Mega Charizard environment. But I think that they have acknowledged where the Mega Charizard kind of falls off and that you are just relying on that specific Pokemon in a team fight. And they really took advantage of the idea that if you take that one down, if that one's useless, then I think we can do pretty well. So taking the Umbreon early to make sure that you're shutting that down, I think was a really good call from them.
Also loved the pick of Umbreon into the Crustle you saw there at the Groudon fight. Crustle Unite, Umbreon stealing all of those shields and then getting that double KO. Very pivotal moment, I think. So I love the Umbreon tech into the Crustle. I thought that worked out very well. The mean looks, like you said. Fantastic plays all around. So Tut moving forward. Their opponent, I believe, is going to be Ignorance. Okay, so we got Ignorance versus Tut on the opposite side. I and H. I think Sugar Rush just advanced. So Sugar Rush taking out Exodia.
Sugar Rush beat Exodia.
Yeah, look at this.
Sugar Rush beat Exodia. Wow.
Yeah, we have a little bit of time so we could go through that. Yeah, Sugar Rush taking down Exodia. Lunex Gaming 1-1 versus Griefers United. So this.
Oh, it just got updated.
Did it?
Ooh. Yeah, refresh.
At
least for me, it did.
Oh, let's see if it can. No, it's
at least for me, it just got updated. But Griefers Reunited ended up pulling it out.
Wow.
So we'll see Griefers versus Sugar Rush in the semifinals, and then Ignorance and Kalos. This is actually shaking out to be a very interesting tournament.
Yeah, we're seeing teams that have previously won Underdunk getting eliminated here in second round. So Lunex, I believe the defending champions, if I recall correctly. Exodia won, I think, 2 ago, getting taken down by Sugar Rush. So yeah, this is an incredible bracket. So let's go ahead and take a quick break, get set up for our next round matchup. So don't go too far, folks. More Underdunk. We'll be back very, very soon.
Look for a rip here on Groudon. It's getting close to half.
Yeah, it's already at half. Very low. Here comes a fly from Talonflame. They're going to look for it, but the coup de grace! It's going to be Aegislash that secures it. Now Sugar Rush is getting absolutely dissolved. 4 KOs. Snorlax going to be the next to fall. Adorable Wolves. They're going to win this set 2-0.
That was a really, really tough one. I mean, the Talon, I thought for sure the Fly ended up having it, but it really did just come down to that flip in the end. I think the call from
Really tough, gonna get some shielding to Ian, and with 2 down, Ian's gonna look towards onto this Groudon. Already at half HP, Smuglax trying to get in, Liko trying to line up a snipe shot, Cute Charm is gonna pull him away, but it is Liko! Just in time, they steal the Groudon! Version 1 wipes him from the map, and they are gonna win your Underdunk 61.
Man.
To push forward, Garchomp move, Unite move into the back line, gonna damage this Suicune, send them back to the Pokemon Center. They weren't able to use that Unite move. Groudon now at half HP. Zoroark, oh, they get caught out, unable to use their Unite move. NA has one final shot to try to steal this away and salvage the game. Do they have it in them? They do! Huge Garchomp Dragon!
damage. Unfortunately, this lead heals up quite a lot by this Clefable. What an engagement there by the Garchomp. Takes down Lucario very instantly.
Talonflame goes down as well, though. Purple Kevin on this Hoopa is bringing in the team with the rings unbound. They're dangerously low, but Regieleki gonna walk towards that T1 goal zone. Hoopa is down. Rest of the reinforcements are here for version 1. And it is gonna be the Blaziken getting a double KO. And a snipe shot finds the back line, too. Focus Blast is going to force out a Unite move from Glaceon. They're going to be able to find any damage anyway. Oh, the Hornleys misses the Hoopa portal, and Blaziken gets to safety. Here's that Unite move from Trevenant. Oh, Zacian's going to be the first to fall here. Trevenant also getting chopped down to size. Glaceon down as well in version 1. Scrambling, trying to find anything on Bibs in full control of this game.
Yeah, just kind of getting picked apart. I do got to admire Smuglax's attempt there on the Trevenant.
look for a rip here on Groudon. It's getting close to half.
Yeah, it's already at half, very low. Here comes a fly from Talonflame. They're gonna look for it, but the coup de grace! It's gonna be Aegislash that secures it. Now Sugar Rush is getting absolutely dissolved. 4 KOs. Snorlax gonna be the next to fall. Adorable Wolves. They're gonna win this set 2-0.
That was a really, really tough one. I mean, the Talon, I thought for sure the Fly ended up having it, but it really did just come down to that flip in the end. I think the call from
Really tough, gonna get some shielding to Ian, and with 2 down, Ian's gonna look towards onto this Groudon. Already at half HP, Smuglax trying to get in, Liko trying to line up a snipe shot. Cute Charm is gonna pull him away, but it is Liko! Just in time, they steal the Groudon! Version 1 wipes him from the map, and they are gonna win your Underdunk 61.
Man.
To push forward, Garchomp move, Unite move into the back line, gonna damage this Suicune, send them back to the Pokemon Center. They weren't able to use that Unite move. Groudon now at half HP. Zoroark, oh, they get caught out, unable to use their Unite move. NA has one final shot to try to steal this away and salvage the game. Do they have it in them? They do! Huge Garchomp Dragon!
damage. Unfortunately, it is being healed up quite a lot by this Clefable. What an engagement there by the Garchomp. Takes down Lucario very instantly.
Talonflame goes down as well, though. Purple Kevin on this Hoopa is bringing in the team with the rings unbound. They're dangerously low, but Regieleki gonna walk towards that T1 goal zone. Hoopa is down. Rest of the reinforcements are here for version 1. Whoa. And it is gonna be the Blaziken getting a double KO. And a snipe shot finds the back line, too. Focus Blast is going to force out a Unite move from Glaceon. They're going to be able to find any damage anyway. Oh, the Hornleys misses the Hoopa portal, and Blaziken gets to safety. Here's that Unite move from Trevenant. Oh, Zacian's going to be the first to fall here. Trevenant also getting chopped down to size. Glaceon down. Welcome back, Pokemon Unite trainers. Underdunk number 65, and we have our next round match set up. Sugar Rush and Griefers reunited.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so both of these teams are coming off of 2 3-game sets, which we don't see a lot. Like, yeah, we'll see 3-game sets a lot, but I feel like we don't see this many 3-game sets in early rounds. And, oh, did I just buffer? Okay, I think I'm back. But yeah, this is going to be really, really interesting because these are both kind of upsets in a way, like we would have expected, Exodia and Lunex Gaming, and Sugar Rush and Griefers United, both very good teams, but they kind of upset their counterparts in the quarterfinals. So this should shake out to be a very interesting semifinals matchup.
Yeah, I'm excited to see these two squads. I mean, these are They kind of had the upsets, right? Like, you expect Lunex Gaming to win. You expect Exodia to win. So, while they were hard-fought sets, they came out victorious. So, both of them probably very excited to be in this position. They are 1 win away, or I guess 2 wins away from your winners finals. And I don't know if either of these teams have been there in ever, or at least in quite some time.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be really interesting for both of them. And we have seen Griefers reunited today. We saw them in the first round that they played, but we haven't seen Sugar Rush yet. True. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of what their strategy ends up being going into this, how bans are going to be shaking out. Griefers performed, really well when we saw them against Thanos Exodia, but it's one of those matches where it could go either way. A lot of it is going to be up to how they're drafting and what they're prioritizing in those ban slots.
Yeah, and teams are getting final ready checks. I'm excited to see how we're going to attack draft. Griefers reunited, going to be on your purple side with that first pick option. Sugar Rush going to have to yield potentially a powerful Pokemon or really decide to ban them out.
So this is going to be very interesting. Blissey getting the ban slot. You don't want to give that over to the other side. Unsurprising, Mega Lucario also prioritizing the ban slot. I wonder what the banning situation is going to look like for Mega Charizard if we do see that even banned. It's interesting because I feel like Mega Charizard's way better than Mega Lucario, but so far the ban priority has gone towards Mega Lucario, I feel like, but there's the Mega Charizard being banned. Aegislash also being banned by Griefers Reunited. I don't know who plays it over on Sugar Rush to be banning it out, but I guess they don't want to see it.
I mean, there's a lot of options, right? I mean, there's still a lot of options on the table for both of these teams. So we have Hero and Harrow on opposite sides, so that's going to be very interesting. I'm loving this, though. I don't think we're going to see it, but I love all the new, I don't know if we talked about it too much, all the new license art that was just dropped in one of the more recent patches. So we're seeing a lot of players have that. I think I saw that Sableye one, which was really cool. But Snorlax on the left side for Sugar Rush, they're going to grab that Miraidon once again, and also this Umbreon to pair with it.
Yeah, interesting. So again, prioritizing the Snorlax pick early, and then Sugar Rush, kind of similar strategy to what we saw in the last set, actually, with the Miraidon coming out and the Umbreon to make sure that not a lot can counter it. And Griefers continuing with their Sableye strategy. So I wonder if that's, what ended up working for them in the quarterfinals set that we did not see of them. But the Sableye will make a return here.
Okay, yeah, Sableye along with that Alolan Raichu making their return in game number 1 of our winners semifinals. Gonna also see this Eldegoss paired with this Blaziken. We've seen a ton of Blaziken tonight.
Yeah, Blaziken still good. Blaziken is still always good.
Mm-hmm.
So, unsurprising to be seeing that come out here. Definitely going to be interested to see how it works. It's a lot of times, you want to go for it because of the amount of secure that it has. And with Zacian, Alolan Raichu, Dodrio on the other side that can really burst through objectives, having the ability to potentially steal away a last hit is always very valuable. What's interesting to me is seeing Absol come out. I mean, Pirate King, very notable speedster player and does really like the Absol. I'm not super sure about how much I love Absol here. I could be wrong. I am happy to be proven wrong. But I feel like Absol hasn't really looked amazing lately, and it does struggle, I feel like, with something like Dodrio. Maybe a Talonflame would have been better or something like that, but, of course, I'm willing to be proven wrong.
Yeah, Absol seems to kind of always be a Pokemon that's in and out of the meta. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. I'm still up in the air. We've seen it at least a little bit, but I think it's been a small sample size. I think it's kind of a volatile Pokemon, feast or famine, like I guess a lot of the speedster roster are. If you're able to get ahead, it's still able to look quite good, but if you do fall behind, opposed to when it was incredibly broken, it's just a little bit tougher to kind of claw your way back.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this ends up shaking out, but here we go.
Game number 1, Griefers Reunited on your purple side, Sugar Rush on your orange side. This is going to be winners semifinals. I need to update that in our little thing, but we're going to see the Zacian and Sableye head up to the top half.
Yeah, Zacian and Sableye, very classic. I wonder if Sableye will look for an invade. Eldegoss is kind of coaching this Absol through the central area, especially considering the fact that a Sableye could invade, but it looks like as soon as they do see Sableye on the top path, Eldegoss is going to come up there, look to help that Torchic.
A little bit A-plus pressure from Eldegoss. Sugar Rush looking mostly to clear their own Pokemon on their side of the map. And Dodrio, I think, positioning towards a top path push. Over the last few games, Husky, we've seen both teams send 4 Pokemon up this way early.
Yeah, this is like kind of the early part of the last competitive season that we saw that strategy of sending 4 up top, and that fell off a little bit, I feel like, with the Groudon map changes, but it has kind of come back in a big way more recently.
Yeah, now we do see a couple additional Pokemon up here. Is the Absol going to try to put on a little bit of pressure on the Sableye, and maybe not the exact target that they're looking for, but again, KO's a KO, and if you're going to find one early, Absol has found 2 early on.
Yeah, I love seeing the pursuit here. I feel like I just don't like Night Slash at all, but maybe that's also just me. It's great if you're Absol to make sure that you're getting online as soon as possible, and a lot of that has come down to really making sure that you are getting those high-value KOs.
Alolan Raichu just doing a little bit of work, trying to clear again their own wild Pokemon on their side of the map. And Umbreon doing a good job of just being a little bit of a pest on the opposite side of the map. And 8-minute means that we are going to have Regidrago spawn in that central area. Griefers reunited in position. I think the Dodrio along with the Alolan Raichu, plenty of rip to try to take that down.
Yeah, Griefers, it seems like they want to go for it a little bit more. Dodrio will chase down the Combuskin, who is alone. They have to use an eject button, but here comes the rest of Sugar Rush. Regidrago getting chipped by a Alolan Raichu should easily go over to Griefers. It will, and giving that to Dodrio, definitely a valuable call because they can get points in very easily.
Yeah, especially with that passive ability to be able to score in smaller chunks of their pocket. But it's going to be still a tough task to do with the Blaziken hounding them, but with that score buff, made it look quite easy. And you also have that Sableye to drop a little bit more Aeos energy. Citrus Berry gobbled up by Blaziken just in time to avoid the KO.
Yeah, just in time. Dodrio does get foul played there, so not a mean look. Really interesting call here from the Umbreon to go with the foul play moveset. Definitely my favorite way to play it, but against Dodrio, I would have said for certain we would be seeing a mean look.
Regieleki down in the bottom path. Snorlax is putting pressure on the T1 goal zone. Forced Sugar Rush to defend that. Also allowed this Alolan Raichu to start coming on in. Then they do, immediately sending that Eldegoss back to the Pokemon Center. Now the pressure is on this T1 goal zone. 30 points looking to go on in from Snorlax, but the Indeedee, the Jesus had some hands.
The Jesus! You gotta make sure that you don't generate more Jesuses for the other team. And then Indeedee is also making sure there. Snorlax, big block. Absol can't quite take them down. They will go down eventually to the Blaziken, but still somehow stolen away. The Zacian able to get the secure on the Regieleki.
Slicing right through it, but it is the Miraidon that is able to take down the Blaziken as well. So good plays here from Griefers reunited, but Sugar Rush has done a good job of defending their goal zone from this from this Regieleki from pushing on in. So while they did yield this Aleki, they do not get or give up anything for Griefers United, but it is still 146-0.
Yeah, that is definitely a disparity for Sugar Rush to have to make up here, but we could see them come alive in the late game, but I mean, the Absol hasn't run away with it the way that we would have liked to see them run away with it at this point. They do have a level 9 now, a couple level 9s on their side, but Blaziken in the top path will be able to take down that Zacian.
39 points going on in from Blaziken. Dodrio is mostly focused on ensuring that there was the KOs on the wild Pokemon, so they gobbled up all that Altaria family. There's a Cotton Cloud crash down to the bottom pass, so Sugar Rush finally finding some footing down here, getting some points on in, and starting to narrow up the score lead.
Yeah, narrowing it down. Definitely a good call for them, and they are starting to come alive a little bit. Snorlax moving in, uses a block, and it's really just for distraction. You got 4 members of Sugar Rush having to deal with just the Snorlax that, again, is running Flail. Griefers absolutely love to run this Flail. Snorlax, and look at it, still staying up. Miraidon finally takes it down.
Oh, and that T2 goal zone is down. Unite move from Sableye. Oh, and Absol pursues and hits the Blaziken, preventing them from going back, but Sableye still able to make it out alive. And also, Draku, thank you for the sub. Thank you for the prime. He told me I had to do that, otherwise he wasn't gonna cast.
Yeah, I love a good sub here.
A threat.
You know how it is. Yeah, a threat. You know, you gotta threaten people once in a while. It's just kind of the way that it goes. Regieleki again going to Griefers United, starting to walk toward the goal zone. If it does go in, it won't break with a large overcap, but Sugar Rush does want to try to prevent this from happening. Raichu will go down here. They weren't able to use the Unite move in this fight. It looks like Sugar Rush doing pretty well. Another KO going our way.
Surprised that they didn't want to yield this goal zone, just allow it to break with a minimal overcap, but either way, they're still on the defense here. Zacian on the offense, grabbing a double KO. Sableye trying to slow down this Miraidon, confusing them. Here comes the Dodrio. Miraidon just barely gets out. Umbreon with the Unite move. Dodrio goes down.
Wow, Dodrio does go down there. That's going to be really valuable. 3 minutes and 30 seconds are on the clock, and Sugar Rush has an opportunity to push into this tier 1 goal zone. Sableye will start to move toward the top path. Instead, Sugar Rush is going to want to consider moving up into the top path. They still haven't broken a goal zone. Unite move comes up from Alolan Raichu, not enough to get the secure on that objective.
Reggie Steele going over to the side of Sugar Rush. But right now, Griefers Reunited still looking really good. 263, 113. Another Reggie Drago that they could potentially get to maybe even bolster their score lead even more. They do have the firepower. Well, I guess maybe not a fire type, but they definitely have plenty of Pokemon that can take it down. Dodrio being probably the best option. But 40 seconds until Groudon appears in our game 1 of our semifinals. Husky, what do you think Sugar Rush needs to do to get in this?
I mean, Sugar Rush is really hanging on. Like, they have not been able to break goal zones, but I feel like in games where I've watched Sugar Rush in the past, it really hasn't been their team fight that struggles. Wow, what a great pick there. But it really has been more like they can't get into goal zones properly. They have been getting valuable picks. They've been keeping up with the levels for the most part. Dodrio, though, into the base goal zone. They don't score all of their points either because they know that they're going to be showing back up, but it does give the opportunity for Sugar Rush to try to move forward. A little bit of an advantage. Snorlax is moving in. The block does catch Umbreon. They have to back up.
This might be a little bit of a rip and flip situation. Sugar Rush already damaging Groudon heavily. Already down to half. Pirate King looking for a secure. There's that Unite move from the Absol. Who's gonna get it? We have it. It's Sugar. No, it's actually Griefers Reunited that grabs it. It was a Alolan Raichu.
Wow. Raichu somehow picking up that secure. I didn't even see what was actually able to get it. No idea. I also thought that Sugar Rush came away with it. All 5 members of Sugar Rush go down. I don't know if the rip was the right call. I think I would have said it's the right call if they were able to secure it, but that is a very dangerous play that they were making there. Griefers will take our game number 1 unless Sugar Rush can hope for a miracle.
Yeah, they gotta hope for a miracle at this point. Yeah, I thought Absol got it with like a boosted auto or maybe this pursuit, but yeah, very much they didn't, unfortunately, for Sugar Rush. But game's not over. Still a minute remaining. They do need to maybe find a pick here to try to steal a shield. 50 points, unable to go on in. Good defense here from Zacian, but they're going to go ahead and just yield this T1 goal zone. They do not need to defend it. Another 34 points on the back end for this Dodrio. Make it another 34, so make it 68. 74 from Eldegoss goes on in, but 3 members down for Sugar Rush now, and they're going to get dissolved.
Yeah, I just don't think, regardless, it's going to end up being enough. And yeah, no, every member of Sugar Rush is going to go down. They did have a good push there. It was a good attempt, but after losing that Groudon, the amount of points that Griefers Reunited was able to put in, the point differential is just too high. Griefers Reunited going to take game number 1. I think that we could have seen it go either way if Sugar Rush played that final fight, decently enough, but I think that Sugar Rush is a team that plays really well in team fights, but they don't really play very well from behind and score. So if they can clean up a little bit of their early game and get some more points in earlier, then I think that we could have a really good second match.
True. We'll see how it goes. Griefers Reunited going to take this one 1-0, 781, 187. And yeah, I think this composition that Griefers Reunited has been running, that we saw them run in that round 1 matchup, has been quite powerful for them, right? I mean, it's been kind of a proven commodity from other teams, namely the Orange Juicers running it a ton, and it's looking pretty good here for Griefers.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of fun. 781 to 187, the same numbers, just like
what's that called, like an anagram?
I like when that's it's backwards. Yeah. I don't know, but I don't know. I like numbers. That's kind of fun. But yeah, I think Sugar Rush had a really good composition. Wasn't a super fan of the Absol. I don't know if it's necessarily like another speedster would have done way better or just like a little bit of a different strategy, but I feel like I have been disappointed with Absol lately. And look at this damage. You can see how valuable it was to have that heavy backline with the Alolan Raichu that we just did not see, unfortunately, from the Miraidon.
Yeah, Miraidon, a very rare loss here in our tournament. And really, as of lately, we saw this Pokemon just performing at a very high level in almost every game. It still did quite well. There's a lot of moments that Stuffy had with this Miraidon where it looked like it was going to find a lot of KOs. So looking pretty good. Unfortunately, just not good enough here for Sugar Rush in game 1. I did get a question in chat. I think Lordy just answered it. Yeah, Delmise and Vaporeon, not legal for the tournament, but Mega Charizard X, Lucario, Mega Lucario, that is, both legal.
Yeah, Vaporeon just came out. Vaporeon's so stupid from what we have seen. But yeah, the Mega's definitely strong. Oh, you can't see it, but Moon is literally right here. Hold on.
She looks so angry.
She's literally directly in front of the screen. Oh, there's the tail. She's pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's hanging out.
I kicked Floof out. Well, I didn't kick him out. He just left, and
Floopy.
then I shut the door, because he'll start messing with things. Because it's getting close to his bedtime. He gets very
poor Floop.
He is a creature of habit. He loves routine.
Me too, Queen.
He'll start knocking things off everywhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Karma will take pictures off the wall. He'll jump onto the wall and start clawing at stuff.
She's like, no, you guys need to go to bed. I guess bedtime.
Do you go to bed early usually?
I don't. Kelsey does. So if she's not in bed and I'm not in bed, he will start knocking everything off the counter.
Yeah.
He'll get up on a shelf where we can very much see him, and he'll just start messing with wires. Yeah. And that's his sign of it's time to go to bed. I want to go to bed, because clearly he can't do that by himself. I don't know.
I go to bed early usually, and Karma usually sleeps with us in the bed, and Moon usually sleeps downstairs. But in the middle of the night, Moon will find whatever toy is around and hunt it and bring it upstairs and scream the entire time. So it usually wakes me up. But I feel so bad to take away her. There she goes. She doesn't like I'm talking about her.
Oh.
She's gonna go sit in a chair.
Oh.
There she goes. She does it she just yells and screams, but I feel so bad to take the toys away so that she doesn't yell and scream in the middle of the night. And then sometimes if I go out there, she wakes me up and I go out there and I call for her, sometimes she'll come sleep on the bed, but usually it's Karma who gets to sleep in the bed. And the cats don't like each other, so they will never stay together.
Oh. That's sad.
But yeah. You've met them. They definitely don't like each other.
They don't. But look, so we got Vaporeon. Vaporeon just joined Unite. Jolteon, when? Flareon, when?
Yeah, we need Flareon. I would rather Flareon first, just for Kels.
Yeah, me too.
Just for her. Maybe we can get her to play if Flareon comes.
Then she'll play, surely. Maybe. I don't know. She might not play.
Yeah, I'm sure.
She says she will.
I'm sure she won't, but
it's okay.
She won't, but we forgive her anyway.
Draku says that he wishes I called for him. I did. Didn't I? That's how I got you to cast today. True, right? Yeah, I think that's true.
Ate him up.
Got him up. All right, game number 2, Sugar Rush, Griefers reunited. I think we are switching sides, so let me go ahead and do that very quickly. Already getting through the bans, and Darkrai, Blissey, Dodri. Okay, so they are target banning Martine. They do not want to deal with this score composition, pseudo score composition with that Dodrio.
Fair, kind of what I just said. They struggled with getting the scores in that they needed in the early game, and a lot of that was due to the Dodrio posing a significant threat to them. So I think banning it out is really not a bad call. The question is, what else are they going to prioritize with their bans? It is going to be Darkrai and Mega Charizard, which leaves a lot open for them for that first pick. I would probably want to go with Suicune here, but, they might try to take this Snorlax away. No, they're actually going to give Pirate King the Mimikyu. Look at that license art. That's so good.
That's so
I wish they wore the Holowares in the license art, but I do love that still.
Yeah, that's a good artwork. Yeah, I do really like this edition. I think it's small, but it's pretty cool as long as they don't use AI art. keep using artists, and I think I'll be very happy. I like that Phalanx one. That one's really cool too.
Yeah, the Phalanx one. That's very cute. I wish Phalanx was at all viable. I feel so bad for Phalanx. It's just so abysmal.
All right, let's see. Alchemy. We've seen it one time tonight, and I think it worked pretty well. I think it actually won the one game that we've seen it. And this is the first time we're seeing Latias tonight as well. Pokemon that has started to enter the meta more and more.
Yeah, Latias has been banned out quite a lot, but it's really strong because it's a support that kind of flexes into ranged attacker, and if you can get enough stacks, which shouldn't be that difficult, especially in a competitive setting, then it is really extra strong. So I'm excited to see that we get to see that one tonight. Alchemy on the other side as the supporter, which I imagine we'll see recover there. So it's kind of healer versus not healer, more attacker style support.
I'm excited. I played a decent amount of Latias the last week or so. Maybe not a decent amount, but I played it a handful of times, and I am surprised, to say the least, about what that Pokemon can do. I don't know if you watched Spriggle's most recent tier list, but I believe he put it one of the top. I'm not sure if he put it at God tier, but he put it as S+ tier, if not. And I kind of agree, to some extent. This Pokemon has started to really take over some matches. Even without damage items, it lives for a very long time with Dragon Pulse, and it just gets a lot done.
Yeah, it has some self-sustain, which I don't think people are necessarily sleeping on the fact that it has self-sustain, but people definitely don't realize how much it actually does heal itself. But yeah, and I do like that we're seeing the Talonflame come out as a speedster. I still think Talonflame is really strong. You ban out the Dodrio, we're just going to take the thing that you can't hit.
The thing we haven't talked about is this Azumarill too. Jimixity on the Azumarill, Pokemon that very rarely enters the fray. Delphox also not something that we see a ton of. So Sugar Rush bringing out all the stops here in game number 2. They're going to be on your purple side. Griefers Reunited going to be on your orange side. Mimikyu, Pirate King, going to the central area.
Yeah, I think Sugar Rush is kind of for game 2. They're down 1. This is kind of their last chance. Why not just pull out all of the comfort picks, your favorite picks? Why not just go for it? Always love to see an Azumarill come out. The problem I think for them is going to be they had to clean up their early game, and they picked a team comp that's not very great early game, especially this Delphox pick. It's going to be difficult to get this thing online. They have to try to get the Mimikyu to 7 quickly if they're going to want to start snowballing.
Doing pretty decent job of getting these last hits, so not all is lost. You definitely want to get this level 4 on this on this Azumarill. Going back to the Pokemon Center is not going to be, really helpful in that mission. And you do have a lot of pressure here from Griefers United, and they're going to grab up a lot of this experience for themselves.
Yeah, Latias getting close to that level 4 where they're going to be able to get that Dragon Pulse, and they did just hit it here. Level 5 on the Fletchender. 3 members of both sides in this top path, and we do have a Azumarill evolved.
Azumarill finally evolved, and Griefers United pressing very much forward. Extreme speed on this Lucario. Aquatail on this Azumarill. I did think it missed the mark there on that Latias. Otherwise, it might have been able to chunk it down and maybe allow Sugar Rush to push a little bit more forward.
Azumarill, level 4, but I couldn't remember if they were stacking or not, but it does look like Martine went into the enemy central area to look for an opportunity to try to slow down this Mimikyu, and that's kind of what you can do when you're faced with a later game focused composition. You can just kind of jump in on them, and look at Momo jumping in as well, taking down the Milcery.
Yeah, still not evolved, not Alchemy just yet. You do finally get that evolution, so Delphox has hit its level 6. You definitely want that right now. Regidrago has hit the center area. You have Alolan Raichu and Talonflame both hovering that, trying to potentially grab position here for Griefers.
Grabbing position, level 6 on the Delphox. I wonder if we'll see Fire Spin Probably. I assume we would see Fire Spin, but I mean, I love the Flame Charge build. Sugar Rush does have control over this Regidrago. Doesn't look like Griefers is there to, almost with the Electro Ball coming in from Alolan Raichu, but it is going to be Sugar Rush to be able to get it. So far, Griefers has not put a ton of points in, so Sugar Rush could look for an opportunity to push into the top path here.
Good push here from Lucario to kind of segment those Altaria family away from Sugar Rush. However, they are just barely able to escape narrowly with their almost entire full HP bar. One other thing here, Husky, is that we are seeing Dragon Breath on the Latias.
Interesting. So we were talking about how Dragon Pulse is really good, and then they just didn't do that, which... I mean, fair enough, but we do see the Azumarill getting a little bit of a secure here. So notably, this Lucario is extreme speed, so not a ton of secure if you don't have that Talonflame available. Now Sugar Rush able to push in. Lucario does go down, but 2 go down the other way.
Now Alolan Raichu able to take quick work of a couple of those Pokemon for Sugar Rush, and Talonflame finishing off that last of it with that Alchemy. Now we still have this basement objective. Umbreon trying to score the cheeky 28 points. Snorlax taking a little bit of exception. Flaillox once again. Block. Gonna push this Umbreon a little bit. Score their 9 points right in their face.
37-4 now. Again, Sugar Rush just can't really seem to figure out how to get in and get some points in. But yeah, Lucario just kind of taking this Regirock by themselves. No one's really there. Umbreon could look for an opportunity to secure, but they're not there in time. They might have been able to get there in time if they didn't stop to hit that Bunnelby, but I'm not sure if they saw how low it was.
Yeah, I don't think they knew that Lucario was doing it, so great heads-up play for Lucario, just keep on ripping. But they do trade that T1 goal zone in the top pass. Sugar Rush getting a lot of value up there. And not only that, Husky, but they have the score lead currently.
Yeah, the score lead. They were able to take down that goal zone, not with a very big overcap, it doesn't seem like, but now they're moved down to the bottom, potentially looking for an opportunity to break this bottom. Oh yeah, it would have been 1 point overcap. Yeah, yeah, because they had no points scored. But I think they just wanted an opportunity to get a goal zone broken and continue to put pressure on, but pressure going right back the other way. Talonflame gets a couple points in, looking for their stacked 110 now, and 7 points remain on this goal zone.
And they ended up leaving that unattended for an unfortunate amount of time. It was just enough for Griefers Reunited to get some position. Now you also have to deal with this Regieleki. I couldn't see exactly what that goal was left at, but it might be enough to just break with the Regieleki, so I don't know if they're quite wanting to push this just yet. They're focusing on the bottom. They score 22 there, and yeah, 7 points there. We'll see if they're going to be able to break this before Regieleki walks on in. It looks like they will.
Wow, yeah, they are just barely going to be able to break this. This is pretty dangerous now for Sugar Rush. Nobody is there. They're just going to have to let the Regieleki walk in. I'm pretty sure they felt like for sure they wouldn't be able to break it in time, but that is a huge oversight there from Sugar Rush. They were all on this bottom path getting nothing accomplished. Just Snorlax down there defending against everybody.
Another dunk into that home goal zone from Martine on the Talonflame. Unite moves, traded Alolan Raichu and this Alchemy just to make sure no one on Sugar Rush goes down. Talonflame scouting that central area, taking a lot of that for themselves, and now it's going to be Sugar Rush moving towards this Registeel, already damaging it. Alolan Raichu looking for an angle Unite move from the Delphox, and they're able to secure that Registeel. It's also, Husky, I don't know if we talk about this. This is a Mystical Fire Flame Charge Delphox.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love to see the Mystical Fire Flame Charge come out. I mean, it is, like, probably beneficial to go with the Fire Spin, but Flame Charge really can shred, you know, more than you would think it could. And Latias!
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, no. Latias able to get the Regidrago as well. 2 members of Griefers Reunited scoring in that base goal zone, 346 to 180, even though Sugar Rush has been able to put some points in. Griefers Reunited is just increasing their score lead.
Yeah, no Dodrio in sight, but it's this Talonflame that's still putting on that same amount of goal zone pressure, right? They were able to break that T2, and that opened up those cheeky plays in the home goal zone. I think Snorlax and Talonflame both were able to score like 30 to 40 points each. So right now it is All Griefers reunited. Sugar Rush, while they had a very good early game, what do you think they need to do to get back into this late game and secure a game 3?
And they have to win a team fight. You can't go for a rip again knowing that Talonflame is there. Regieleki also is going to walk into your base here very easily. I like that they are just staying as 5. They've acknowledged the fact that they're very far behind right now, but they are preparing for a team fight. I think having nobody at level 13, when you have 2 level 13s on the other side, you really have no choice but to look for some high value picks and hope that you're able to pull out a win from the fight.
Regieleki walks into that home goal zone. Lucario looking to dunk 43. Final stretch means that's going to be 86. 526, 180. Groudon already at half. Here comes the Unite move. Delphox going to try to lay down the fanciful firework, but it's Latias once again stealing the show, stealing the Groudon. Griefers reunited. Going to send Sugar Rush to a Sugar Crash.
What even got it from the Latias? It was just the Dragon Breath came in, able to get the secure. You know, we're worried about the Lucario Unite me. If you're worried about Talon, you're not as worried about Latias Dragon Breath getting the secure, but potentially saving the game there. The Latias easily grabs that 844 to 180. Sugar Rush not even able to get anybody down, trying to defend, and wow, what a game there from Griefers Reunited.
I mean, they were ready for the rip. They knew exactly what they had to do, and felt like it was a very low, I guess they were really worried about it. They had already dunked a bunch of points in at the final stretch. They still had that defenseless home goal zone that they could have even pushed into if they lost it. So, honestly, Griefers Reunited played this game perfectly in that mid part. And, yeah, they really have impressed me tonight.
Yeah, they are looking really strong. I think that they could definitely do really well. After 2 sets of Game 3 situations, Griefers Reunited, I feel like they just really have found it. They're doing really well. They're playing very consistently and very solid. And they are able to pivot their draft strategies really easily when, you know, something gets banned that they might have wanted to play. Look at the extreme speed on Lucario as well. I've loved that pick tonight.
It's looking pretty good. 2-0. Griefers Reunited heading back. Well, maybe not even back. I don't know if they've ever reached this plateau of the winners finals. So very big congratulations to them. Obviously, their night's not done. They're going to look to try to take down either Ignorance or Tutkalos, which, from what it looks like, has tied 1-1 going into a game 3. But game number 2 here, all Griefers 1,180 to 180. Another one of those fun numbers.
Wow, yeah, just 1,000-point differential between the 2 teams. So close. But yeah, I mean, they did Sugar Rush. I would love to have seen their matches against Exodia to really see like what they brought, but they definitely seemed pretty strong. But yeah, I mean, I think that second game, a lot of like their drafting just it didn't work. Like the team comp is just, you know, it's there, but definitely not the best team composition or one that you would expect to see win a game or anything like that. But I still do love to see it regardless.
Same stuff. Looking pretty good for Griefers Reunited going into our next round matchup. All around, I mean, like we talked about time and time again, early on, Sugar Rush had a pretty good advantage. They were getting levels, they were getting points, but everything kind of flipped after that second Regieleki walking into that T1 or T2 goal zone. Unfortunate, Sugar Rush unable to just really let it go through.
Yeah, I mean, they really didn't have much of an opportunity to catch up throughout the duration of that game. As soon as points started going in for Griefers, but very strong showing regardless. I think it was a really good set. We should have a very interesting winners final as well. Currently, Ignorance and Tutkalos are locked in a 1-1 situation. We haven't seen the outcome of that game quite yet. So it's been a really interesting night here on Underdunk.
Very interesting night indeed. Night's not over, but our shift is over. We're going to bring in Draku-san along with Professor Malice for the remainder of the evening. Husky and I are going to take the night off. Well, I guess I'll be producing, but I'll still be here. But Husky's going to
Kyle's still here, but Husky gets to go.
Yeah. You got a long day tomorrow. Any final shout-outs before we get you on out?
No, thanks for, well, I said no, and then I immediately went into, yes, thank you for including my, donation link. If any of you have missed that, I'm doing a fundraiser this week, and I'm going to be streaming all day for it tomorrow. There's a lot of incentives. You can see the link as a QR code or exclamation point donate in the chat. Would really appreciate it. If you can't donate, that's totally fine. But if there are things that you don't know about diabetes or you have questions, do just ask me. I am always happy to provide some education when needed. So thank you again, Kyle and everyone on Underdunk for, letting me include this as part of the night tonight. I appreciate it. And this is a really fun tournament. So I'll see you at the end, and I'll see you at LAIC. Who's excited?
Yeah, alrighty. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll say goodbye to Husky. Exclamation point donate. I just dropped it there. If anybody wants to donate or check out her stream on her channel, Husky Star TTV. Twitch.tv/HuskyStar.tv. I think that's the whole thing, right? That's how you talk about web pages nowadays.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. But either way, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to see you very, very soon on the other side. But for now, hope you guys enjoy another drink, another snack, more Underdunk 65. We'll be back.
Look for a rip here on Groudon. It's getting close to half.
Yeah, it's already at half. Very low. Here comes a fly from Talonflame. They're going to look for it, but the coup de grace! It's going to be Aegislash that secures it. Now Sugar Rush is getting absolutely dissolved. 4 KOs. Snorlax going to be the next to fall. Adorable Wolves. They're going to win this set 2-0.
That was a really, really tough one. I mean, the Talon, I thought for sure the fly ended up having it, but it really did just come down to that flip in the end. I think the call from
really tough, gonna give some shielding to Ian, and with 2 down, Ian's gonna look towards onto this Groudon. Already at half HP, Smuglax trying to get in, Liko trying to line up a snipe shot. Cute Charm is gonna pull him away, but it is Liko! Just in time, they steal the Groudon! Version 1 wipes him from the map, and they are gonna win your Underdunk 61.
Man.
To push forward, Garchomp move, Unite move into the back line, gonna damage this Suicune, send them back to the Pokemon Center. They weren't able to use that Unite move. Groudon now at half HP. Zoroark, oh, they get caught out, unable to use their Unite move. NA has one final shot to try to steal this away and salvage the game. Do they have it in them? They do! Huge Garchomp Dragon!
damage. Unfortunately, it is being healed up quite a lot by this Clefable. What an engagement there by the Garchomp. Takes down Lucario very instantly.
Talonflame goes down as well, though. Purple Kevin on this Hoopa is bringing in the team with the rings unbound. They're dangerously low, but Regieleki going to walk towards that T1 goal zone. Hoopa is down. Rest of the reinforcements are here for version 1. Whoa. And it is going to be the Blaziken getting a double KO. And a snipe shot finds the back line, too. Focus Blast is going to force out a Unite move from Glaceon. They're going to be able to find any damage anyway. Oh, the Hornleys misses the Hoopa portal, and Blaziken gets to safety. Here's that Unite move from Trevenant. Oh, Zacian's going to be the first to fall here. Trevenant also getting chopped down to size. Glaceon down as well in version 1. Scrambling, trying to find anything on Bibs in full control of this game.
Yeah, just kind of getting picked apart. I do got to admire Smuglax. Trevenant.
Look for a rip here on Groudon. It's getting close to half.
Yeah, it's already at half. Very low. Here comes a fly from Talonflame. They're going to look for it, but the coup de grace! It's going to be Aegislash that secures it. Now Sugar Rush is getting absolutely dissolved. 4 KOs. Snorlax going to be the next to fall. Adorable Wolves. They're going to win this set 2-0.
That was a really, really tough one. I mean, the Talon, I thought for sure the fly ended up having it, but it really did just come down to that flip in the end. I think the call from
Really tough, gonna get some shielding to Ian, and with 2 down, Ian's gonna look towards onto this Groudon. Already at half HP, Smuglax trying to get in, Liko trying to line up a snipe shot, Cute Charm is gonna pull him away, but it is Liko! Just in time, they steal the Groudon! Version 1 wipes him from the map, and they are gonna win your Underdunk 61.
Man.
To push forward, Garchomp move, Unite move into the back line, gonna damage the Suicune, send them back to the Pokemon Center. They weren't able to use that Unite move. Groudon now at half HP. Zoroark, oh, they get caught out, unable to use their Unite move. NA has one final shot to try to steal this away and salvage the game. Do they have it in them? They do! Huge Garchomp Dragon!
damage. Unfortunately, it is being healed up quite a lot by this Clefable. Wanted engagement there by the Garchomp. Takes down Lucario very instantly.
Talonflame goes down as well, though. Purple Kevin on this Hoopa is bringing in the team with the rings unbound. They're dangerously low, but Regieleki gonna walk towards that T1 goal zone. Hoopa is down. Rest of the reinforcements are here for version 1. And it is gonna be the Blaziken getting a double KO. And a snipe shot finds the back line, too. Focus Blast is going to force out a Unite move from Glaceon. They're going to be able to find any damage anyway. Oh, the Hornleys misses the Hoopa portal, and Blaziken gets to safety. Here's that Unite move from Trevenant. Oh, Zacian's going to be the first to fall here. Trevenant also getting chopped down to size. Glaceon down as well in version 1. Scrambling, trying to find anything on Bibs in full control of this game.
Yeah, just kind of getting picked apart. I do got to admire Smuglax's attempt there on the Trevenant.
Look for a rip here on Groudon. It's getting close to half.
Yeah, it's already at half, very low. Here comes a fly from Talonflame. They're gonna look for it, but the coup de grace! It's gonna be Aegislash that secures it. Now Sugar Rush is getting absolutely dissolved. 4 KOs. Snorlax gonna be the next to fall. Adorable Wolves. They're gonna win this set 2-0.
That was a really, really tough one. I mean, the Talon, I thought for sure the Fly ended up having it, but it really did just come down to that flip in the end. I think the call from
Really tough, gonna get some shielding to Ian, and with 2 down, Ian's gonna look towards onto this Groudon. Already at half HP, Smuglax trying to get in, Liko trying to line up a snipe shot, Cute Charm is gonna pull him away, but it is Liko! Just in time, they steal the Groudon! Version 1 wipes him from the map, and they are gonna win your Underdunk 61.
Man.
To push forward, Garchomp move, Unite move into the back line, gonna damage the Suicune, send them back to the Pokemon Center. They weren't able to use that Unite move. Groudon now at half HP. Zoroark, oh, they get caught out, unable to use their Unite move. NA has one final shot to try to steal this away and salvage the game. Do they have it in them? They do! Huge Garchomp Dragon!
damage. Unfortunately, it is being healed up quite a lot by this Clefable. Wanted engagement there by the Garchomp. Takes down Lucario very instantly.
Talonflame goes down as well, though. Purple Kevin on this Hoopa is bringing in the team with the rings unbound. They're dangerously low, but Regieleki gonna walk towards that T1 goal zone. Hoopa is down. Rest of the reinforcements are here for version 1. And it is gonna be the Blaziken getting a double KO. And a snipe shot finds the back line, too. Focus Blast is going to force out a Unite move from Glaceon. They're going to be able to find any damage anyway. Oh, the Hornleys misses the Hoopa portal, and Blaziken gets to safety. Here's that Unite move from Trevenant. Oh, Zacian's going to be the first to fall here. Trevenant also getting chopped down to size. Glaceon down as well in version 1. Scrambling, trying to find anything on Bibs in full control of this game.
Yeah, just kind of getting picked apart. I do got to admire Smuglax's attempt there on the Trevenant.
for a rip here on Groudon. It's getting close to half.
Yeah, it's already at half, very low. Here comes a fly from Talonflame. They're gonna look for it, but the coup de grace! It's gonna be Aegislash that secures it. Now Sugar Rush is getting absolutely dissolved. 4 KOs. Snorlax gonna be the next to fall. Adorable Wolves. They're gonna win this set 2-0.
That was a really, really tough one. I mean, the Talon, I thought for sure the Fly ended up having it, but it really did just come down to that flip in the end. I think the call from
Really tough, gonna get some shielding to Ian, and with 2 down, Ian's gonna look towards onto this Groudon. Already at half HP, Smuglax trying to get in, Liko trying to line up a snipe shot. Cute Charm is gonna pull him away, but it is Liko! Just in time, they steal the Groudon! Version 1 wipes him from the map, and they are gonna win your Underdunk 61.
Man.
To push forward, Garchomp move, Unite move into the back line, gonna damage the Suicune, send them back to the Pokemon Center. They weren't able to use that Unite move. Groudon now at half HP. Zoroark, oh, they get caught out, unable to use their Unite move. NA has one final shot to try to steal this away and salvage the game. Do they have it in them? They do! Huge Garchomp Dragon!
damage. Unfortunately, it is being healed up quite a lot by this Clefable. What an engagement there by the Garchomp. Takes down Lucario very instantly.
Talonflame goes down as well, though. Purple Kevin on this Hoopa is bringing in the team with the rings unbound. They're dangerously low, but Regieleki gonna walk towards that T1 goal zone. Hoopa is down. Rest of the reinforcements are here for version 1. Whoa. And it is gonna be the Blaziken getting a double KO. And a snipe shot finds the back line, too. Focus Blast is going to force out a Unite move from Glaceon. They're going to be able to find any damage anyway. Oh, the Hornleys misses the Hoopa portal, and Blaziken gets to safety. Here's that Unite move from Trevenant. Oh, Zacian's going to be the first to fall here. Trevenant also getting chopped down to size. Glaceon down as well in version 1. Scrambling, trying to find anything on Bibs in full control of this game.
Yeah, just kind of getting picked apart. I do got to admire Smuglax's attempt there on the Trevenant.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Underdunk, a Pokemon Unite series, the tournament that we are excited to be here today. I am joined by my co-caster, Draku.
Kyle,
Draku, are you there, buddy?
Kyle, help! Kyle, help! Help!
He's
All right,
there,
we're
he
here.
made it.
We're so here. Hello. Hi, Mouse. How's it going?
It's going great. Better than good. Better than that. Someday. Okay, I forgot my phrase. It's been a while, guys. Better than good, better than great, some days better than that. We are so back. There's the phrase. Now we're back in action. And yeah, it's been a fat minute, but it's good to see you again. You're looking as
Call me that.
handsome
You
as
called me
ever.
that earlier. Once again, you can't call me that. I'm looking at Kyle's face right now. You guys can't see his face, but he is like sweating. He's like, Draku is not on the screen. He should be on the screen. I've been producing all night. I'm not producing anymore. I've been casting. This should be okay. And yeah, he's gone. Yeah, now he's mad at me. How's it going, Mouse? It's been a little while. It has been wait, let me quote you. It has been a semi-large minute since I've also been casting. It's been about 2 months since I've casted, and I've been on a little bit of a hiatus from streaming as well. For those of you that don't know, I got a huge new promotion for my job, and so I've been really focusing on that. But with the UCS coming up, got to get back on the mic and get practicing up because there is that league coming up, but there's a lot of action coming up this weekend for LAIC. Unfortunately, I'm not in Brazil, but I am super stoked to watch it. Malice, what have you been up to? How you been, dude?
Well, first of all, congratulations on the promotion. Let's give a round of applause to him. I'm going to be clapping. Very fat.
Wait, can you make your
right
VTuber do a round of applause? I don't know.
Yeah, yes, we can. I need to get like a. I guess there's a way to rig it, or you can get some add-ons. I don't know any of that stuff. I got to go hire some nerd to do that for me. But there's plenty of people out there that maybe I can call upon. Anyways, as for myself, it's just been super busy as I've got my job as a collegiate coach, and we just finished our first season, the fall season, with multiple teams getting into the playoffs for their titles, which was a lot of fun. And we finished off the season with me getting to do a live audience broadcast. We had, I think, like 30 to 40 people in a theater. I was casting to them, and we had, I think, another 40 to 50 people online, which was just a really cool experience. Even the other team called me up and was like, hey, man, we're jealous. That's awesome. Wish we had that kind of turnout. But now that I'm done there, I get to come back and hang out with you guys. I've missed you. It's been 3-4 months, something like that. A fat while. Very fat while.
Well, welcome back. It has been a very interesting time in Pokemon Unite. I would say some very great news and also not so great news in the public realm of Pokemon Unite. I know some people were not very happy with the changes to draft, for example, or the balances of some Pokemon. But let's just go ahead and get into, I guess, the metagame right now. So this upcoming weekend is going to be the first official Pokemon event where Groudon is entering the fray. You know, Rayquaza was all of last year. That is an old story. Groudon is the new kid, the new legendary on the block. And of course, the metagame has shifted quite dramatically over the last couple of months since you've been gone. We have Mega Evolution Pokemon now. We have Lucarionite, Charizardite, or Charizard X. I forgot what it's called. But anyway, Megas have entered Pokemon Unite, and boy, oh boy, the splash they have made. They've made a very loud splash. And as you can tell, like on here on the left-hand side, the graphics, again, made by Kyle, fantastic. These Megas, oh, yeah. By the way, I just want to point out that Kyle spelled Gauntlet wrong on the bottom left, Groudon Gauntlet. Yeah, I just want to
it's latte. It's okay. A new drink served up that we're selling to raise money for type 1 diabetes. We do have a sponsorship or some type of deal going on raising funds and for Husky Star to support that charity or whatever another. I didn't get the briefing on this, but it is a really good cause to support, and we're going to be serving up the Groudon Cotton Latte as a way to drive those funds.
Yeah, but like I was saying, Mega Evolutions are typically not available to be played because they're most likely banned very frequently. But Lucario, Mega Lucario, is available to be selected. Other than that, Mega Charizard, a couple of Pokemon doing really well in the metagame right now. Just thinking of the most recent balance patch, Mimikyu, one of the best all-rounders. I think one of the most consistent all-rounders for quite some time, is now rising up the ranks once again. Shadowclaw got that buff. And it was a powerful Pokemon before the buffs, and now, of course, it is still continuing to be a very strong Pokemon, Malice.
I imagine it will be. I've played a couple of games since the Megas came in. You might also think of Pokemon EX 2.0. But one of the biggest vulnerabilities of like Charizard is he's quite frail, and locking him down is a great way to shut him down. Mimikyu seemed to be a surprising solution to the rising strength of this Mega Charizard. Not only that, I mean, they buffed him, and he just has been organically very strong. And I'm glad to see him come back in rotation. Looking here at the draft going on, I see some familiar faces. Snorlax is still really popular. Blaziken's still really good. Blissy's still top of the line. And there's also Psyduck and Suicune.
Yeah, those Pokemon never seem to make their way out of the limelight. I think just their kit just makes them so strong. I think if there's one, I guess not necessarily a Pokemon, but more like an archetype that has always been broken, well, it is crowd control, right? If there's one thing to stop Lucario, if there's one thing, like you were saying, to add on to it, to stop Mega Charizard, well, if they can't play the game, if they can't press their buttons, if they cannot move, then, well, that is how you counter some of these big threats. But it's really interesting to see like the 10 Pokemon that we're seeing right here, right? We have like the EX of old, right? We got that Zacian. Momo's picking up this Pokemon. By the way, most recently got nerfed once again. I don't know exactly why, but clearly, Momo and Griefers United making it all the way here to the winners finals, not afraid to play this Pokemon, but very much like I would say most of last UCS season, all-rounders dominating the metagame. You can see 3 on our orange side, just that one Pokemon on the side of Griefers United, but all-rounders still one of the best archetypes in the game, classifications in the game.
Clearly, I mean, they're still really performing. One thing that strikes me as interesting is Palmot. When I stepped away from the game to go pursue other things, Palmot was in a really weak position. But now he's starting to see some play. He had a couple adjustments. I think he got a buff to his health bar. It made his kit a lot more consistent to have those sustaining fights.
Yeah, Palmot it's an interesting Pokemon. I think it's one of the all-rounders. I think a lot of all-rounders can be picked earlier on in draft, but the one thing about Palmot, it doesn't have a whole lot of crowd control like some of the other all-rounders have. It does have fairly good sustain. When it was released, it did not heal itself or self-heal in its Unite move. Now, when it's boosted by its Unite move, Zip Zap, Full Charge Spark, by the way, one of the longest Unite moves to say. When you're in that Unite move buff, you are actively healing yourself as well. That wasn't like that before, but now that you have that buff to this Pokemon, you have a lot more sustain, especially in these larger team fight engagements.
All right, well, the game has started. Teams have separated into the top and bottom lane. Looks like we will be seeing Dotria in the center with Snorlax and Pikachu in the bot lane, and Zacian and Sableye taking the top side against Rapidash and Suicune.
Yeah, this is going to be a really tough lane for Ignorance here. They have going up against a Pikachu and a Snorlax. This is, by the way, an Alolan Raichu, not the regular Pikachu, so they don't have access to something like an Electro Wave, one of the best early game tools for crowd control for the attacker class. Momo is going to take all of those Natus off of the field, and this should be an easy lane here for Griefers United. Zacian, really strong early game, only has no evolution, so it stays as a Zacian throughout the entirety of this map. Here comes Martine with their ace Dodrio heading up to the top path.
Choice Train's coming from the Dotrio, does connect, but does not like any substantiated play is going to happen here. The junglers from both sides are going to be pulling off to the side, but Suicune rotates to the top side. Now a 4v3 scenario. Looks like Ignorance is in a favored position here as a Smite exchange comes in from the Dotrio. Nothing committed here.
Yeah, 4-player swings at the top path, not really able to get anything out of that for Ignorance, but they are going to lose their Galarian Ponyta in the bottom path. Alolan Raichu evolving at level 5. Same thing with the Snorlax at level 5 as well. Look at this swing here for Griefers United, moving to the bottom path. This is a Flail Lax, by the way. I think Hero was playing this Flail Lax build earlier on today, and an early lead here for Griefers United, but to be expected, especially with Zacian and Doju having a really strong early game at level 5.
R3 plays on the block side, but Invade coming in the top side. Sableye and the Dotrio looking for the opposing team's jungler. They go and they do successfully steal the buff from the looks of it, and it looks like they will grab a Sableye running around with about 20% HP. A swing coming in for the bot lane as they try to collapse onto the Sableye. Lucario picking up a knockout on the Zacian.
Yeah, I really love this team composition by Griefers Reunited. This is a team composition I think Kyle was saying earlier. Orange Juicers love to play the Sableye Dodrio. I think it was Kratos on the Dodrio and rolling it down on that Sableye. These two Pokemon, again, are very annoying to deal with. Pokemon Unite, again, is played by scoring. The more score you get towards the end of the game, the better chances you are to win. And these are two Pokemon with high mobility and high pressure on those gold zones. Regidrago entering the fray. I know it's been a couple of months for you, but there is a new objective, Malice. It is this Regidrago. It gives you faster scoring speed if you're able to secure it. Also some global EXP for your entire team if you're able to catch it.
Sounds like a high-value target. More fights breaking on the top side. We do see Jodrio trying to make an attack onto the pad, but will retreat, leaving Raichu to be caught out by the Psyduck. Phenomenal play on the side of Ignorance. They now have a 5v4 advantage. 7 minutes in the game, score 43-88.
Yeah, 92 to 64. They're gonna break this bottom path. It means that Dojo and Sableye can start working on the tier 2 goal zone. Martine's gonna get a small score, most likely just stacking that attack way if they have it available to them. I think it's Jupiter. Yeah, it is Jupiter on the Mega Lucario. Start working on Power Up Punch. Really good form of Secure. Here comes the Palma as well. Gets the Secure, and they're gonna go ahead and move down to the central area. There is still a Regieleki in the bottom path, but here comes Griefers United as they move on forward.
Block comes from the Snorlax to separate the two teams, grabbing some space for Griefers Reunited to reposition themselves and assess the map. Currently up by 40 points. This is a lot more fluid game of Unite than I'm used to. Constant movement as they go in and back between the two lanes. Look like Galarian Rapidash grabbing a pick onto the Raichu. And now Snorlax being caught off guard. Will get CC, and the knockout goes over to the Suicune.
Here comes Ignorance, 5-player push. Here comes the Mega Evolution from Mega Lucario. Power Up Punch to make some space for the rest of the team. 14 on the goal zone. Here comes the 30 banger, 11 points to break the goal zone wide open. Martine goes down, and here comes Ignorance. They're starting to pick up some speed as Pokemon hit their Stage 3 and Stage 2 evolutions. Looking at that Palmon and the Galarian Rapidash in particular. Like I was saying, really strong early game for Griefers United, but in terms of scaling and tempo, Ignorance has the middle and late game if they get the levels going.
All right, Sableye has been revealed here. Will get knocked up. Looks like they are about to get CC. Pulls away from the Galarian Rapidash and tries to come with the stun. Is getting run down, but trying to get back into the pool of invisibility. Trying to avoid the radar of the opposing teams through ZOY, but may get caught out. It is going to be able to recall. What a sneaky little monster that guy is. In the top lane over here, Griefers Unite getting a solid 47 points, taking back the lead and ensuring that they are able to stay competitive, but not to be outdone. Ignorance in the bot lane will grab the Regieleki. Press forward to that bottom path.
All right, here comes Ignorance with the Regieleki in tow. Tier 1 goal zone at 65. KO Streak at 2 for the Palma. It is going to go in. Going to do some quick mass. 38 on the goal zone. Here comes 17, followed by 5, 11, and then 39 to close that one out. The 34-point overcap, and Ignorance has now taken the lead. They're going to respond with some scores of their own. 5-point lead now for Ignorance. And it's going to go back over to Griefers United as they get a small score on the Tier 2 goal zone. Griefers will take the Tier 1 goals on Dojo, splitting up that score, just 2 points for the break. Not the best break, but getting some position might be best for them. Suicune getting the KO on Martine, going to respond with a KO onto the Sableye, and Regirock soon to go down.
Powerful positioning by Ignorance here. They're going to be able to cut off the entry point, grabbing that Regirock, giving them a 20% boost to the defensive stats. This is what they need in order to pick apart the next fight, maybe create a window and start to siege those tier 2 pads. We gotta not call them towers. Suicune throwing out a Whirlpool, does not connect with the Dotrio. Dotrio now moving into the back line of the opposing team.
215 to 237. About a minute and a half before the final stretch and Groudon appears. Both tier 2s are available on either side of the field. Martine's going to continue scoring on the tier 2 to extend the lead just by a little bit. Unfortunately, Jupiter not able to stop the Dojo as they retreat back over to the right side. There is the Unite move from the Psyduck trying to defend itself. Nice Psychic to push the Snorlax back, and here comes a Galarian Rapidash. Triad Blitz to lock down the Alolan Raichu. And nice KO there by the Galarian Rapidash. Maybe a KO Shriek of 2. Snorlax is going to take a power nap last time to take that nap, but they're going to respond with some scores of their own. 12, followed by the 9. Sableye is there for the stop.
Beautiful short scores, allowing them to shore up some of those points here. 22 to 266 in favors of Griefers. They will get a pick on the Suicune, who has been caught out by the Raichu, but it looks like Ignorance will be able to grab the Regidrago. Last Regidrago of the game, giving a massive EXP boost to the team before Rapidash gets cut off by the Zacian and the Snorlax. 44 seconds to the game before the final ejector comes in. Still one Regi in play. 40
seconds, about a 30 or 40-ish point lead by Griefers United. Again, this team that they have here with the Sableye and the Dojo, not the best team fighting prowess with those two Pokemon. Again, very highly mobile, but tend to be really low on the HP. The pod of Snorlax, Raichu, and that Zacian really need to hold down the fort, and it might be really tough, especially with the Suicune, Palmot, and that Psyduck having a lot of displacement between the three of them. 10 seconds before the final stretch, and Groudon enters the fray. Again, a really close game between the two teams. It's still a one-score game. Let's see where they go.
Interesting to see if they fight for this initially, if there's going to be a little bit of a dance going on before. It looks like that dance is going to be happening as Griefers United try to get a good position here. They're laying down some traps for the Raichu and trying to get information from Sableye. He's skirting around, wanting to identify where they are, looking for a good entry point. And here comes the Rapidash engaging onto the Snorlax. Snorlax still buffering it up.
Yeah, poking each other from either side of the central area. I think Dodrio has been seen. He's going to go over to the tier 2 goal zone. Don't know if the vision is available for them. Here comes the Thunderstorm aerial by the Alolan Raichu. First KO going over to the Palmot. Here comes the triple trample from the Dojo. It's going to retreat back to the bottom path. And as the dust starts to settle, Griefers United unfortunately going down. Dodrio still at 50%, and Ignorance starting to work onto the ground. And look at all of these resets coming in from the Mega Lucario and the Power Punch charging. And this should be it. Unfortunately, Martine cannot stay on at a pixel, and it should be an easy secure for Ignorance.
Dodrio still alive with 50 points, might have the possibility to get a back cap going. If you are Griefers Reunited right now, you want to try to preserve that lead. You can let one person get through, but not two. Lucario with the buff hovering around the pad. Looks like Raichu and Snorlax will be trying to defend. And Gumta is still hanging around there, waiting for their teammates to come in. If there's too many players, it will be really hard to defend. They just need to get enough points in. Here comes Lucario, comes in the back, does not get the 100 points in, does get interrupted, is trying to go for it again, does get interrupted a second time. He's still pushing for it, but looks like Griefers will be able to defend. Okay, Lucario takes down the Snorlax. The full team is now grouping up, and here comes Valerian Rapidash taking out the Sableye. They get 20, and then they get the other 100. Now giving Ignorance the lead. Griefers no longer need to defend. They need to get their points back.
Yeah, this is a really tough one here for Griefers United. It was a really valiant effort defending that tier 2 goal zone, but it was only a matter of time as soon as the wall of Snorlax fell on that tier 2. And Ignorance, you know, despite having kind of a poor early game, they really picked it up and played to their outs in the middle and later parts of the game. They won a huge team fight in the ground on pit, played patiently post-final stretch, post-Groudon, able to get the scores in. And the score is the tale of the tape here. 600, where'd the score go? 663 to 334 for game 1 of your winner's final.
That was insane. It was chaotic indeed. I'm used to teaching players about this concept called tempo lines, which is invisible lines between your teams so you can dictate or at least assess where your teams can rotate. If some people are too far forward, they can't play to the back. If some people are too far back, they can't play forward. And so you want to try to position yourself close to your team relative to the map, at least in a parallel line. So if you go to deal with one person, you can't deal with the other. But this game, both teams were running around everywhere. And yet it wasn't totally disorganized either. Trio wants to get to the back line, wants to get to the back pads. And when they start to respond to him, he wants to peel away to create an opportunity for somebody else to get in. It was a very impressive game to watch.
Yeah. Well, see, one of the interesting things about Dodrio or like any speedster on the side of Griefers United, I mean, you get to the back line, but what's the back line? I mean, take a look at the side of Ignorance, right? They have 3 all-rounders. I mean, Suicune is classically an all-rounder, but it does have attacker-like characteristics, but it does have the bulkiness of an all-rounder. So, I mean, like, Dojo gets to the back line, what do they find? They find 3 all-rounders, and that's not really what you want to find back there. So, in terms of a draft strategy to go against the Dojo, I'm not exactly sure when the Dojo was picked. It might, of course, it is a comfort pick for that player, but Dodrio just not really able to get anything going. 22,000 damage, and then same thing for the Zacian, about 20,000 damage as well. And you know, the strategy that Griefers United have for this team, again, is to get as many scores in pre 2 minutes, pre-final stretch. And they were only up by about 20, 40 points. It was a 1-score game going into the final 2 minutes of the game. And especially when you have two Pokemon like Sableye, like Dojo, again, really strong scoring potential, not scoring throughout the game, well, you're kind of just setting yourself up for disaster towards the end of the game like we saw there for the team.
You're absolutely right. If you're not playing to the strengths, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. And in this case, when it came down to that final team fight, I mean, you're pressured to take it. Either you fight them there or you concede it. And neither outcome is one that you want. And if you don't have a big enough buffer to offset that and continue with some late game pressure through some back caps, it's just going to be very difficult to play back. So I'm curious to see if Creepers Reunited is going to come in with a different strategy. Will it be a more team fight centric strategy? Will it be more of a pick strategy, long range sieging, or will it be about another mobile pick composition where they're trying to get a bunch of scores, cause some chaos, get people to separate and grab them behind? But you know, if Ignorance plays the same way, where there's no backline, there's no character to exploit because all rounders are typically bulky, stronger, and better in a toe-to-toe match than these speedsters, makes the question, like, what do you do?
Two supporters being banned out here by Ignorance. Creepers United going to take that Mega Charizard Darkrai away. Of course, there is that Mega Lucario still available for both teams. They're going to go ahead and target ban Martine with the Dodrio. I'm not exactly sure what other Pokemon Martine has in their pocket. I'm sure they have many Pokemon in their pocket. I just know Dodrio is one of Martine's favorites here. Mega Lucario still available to be selected. Mew being banned out here. I think that might be a target ban for Neon. I think they were an attacker previously, and that's one of their more proficient Pokemon. Suicune, once again, somehow able to evade nerfs time and time again. This Pokemon just is so powerful in every role that any role that they decide to put it in the disruptor defender position, like they're right here. I mean, of course, they support their team simply by having an EXP share and being a disruptor. Take a look at that. That license art, by the way, for the Sableye looks really cool. But even as an all-rounder / attacker, as a formal damage dealer on the team, it just does a lot of damage because of how long some of these abilities are out on the field. It's just a really powerful Pokemon. Again, like I was saying, in any position or any role that you put Suicune in.
One thing that's curious to me as I watch this draft is how does Mega Lucario not a prio pick and getting forced into a pick 3 or for Ignorance? He's got a 74% rate based on the data that we have here. You would assume that he would be able to slot into more compositions and could be a priority ban, but we see the Suicune, the Raichu, and the Snorlax all prioritized over him. And a 4 all-rounder team on the side of Ignorance. Yuck.
Yeah,
I mean, that's good.
I mean, like one of the strategies that it's not necessarily a strategy, but one of the rationalizations that I have when I'm playing in solo queue is not many people like to play defender in solo queue and in smaller queues on the ladder, right? And sometimes you can mock having a quote unquote defender on your team when you have a lot of all rounders, right? If you just kind of build them up and squint your eyes and tilt your head, you have the bulkiness of a defender. If you have a couple of all rounders, well, you have 4 of them. And then of course you have Suicune as your attacker on the team. It's also having that displacement that I was talking about before. And one of the things that I said a lot during the previous UCS season is Pokemon that are categorically fluid. And Suicune is the best example of one. It's a supporter defender. It's classically called an all-rounder. It has properties of an attacker. Other Pokemon that are like this, for example, this Psyduck, it's all displacement. It's all support. It's also very bulky too, kind of like a defender. So it's categorically fluid as a supporter defender Pokemon, right? And so even though Ignorance doesn't hit all the marks, all the categories in Pokemon Unite, they don't have a speedster, they don't have a formal attacker, right? They don't have a formal defender. You can fill those slots, fill those roles by adding Pokemon like Suicune, like Psyduck, who fill those slots sometimes even better than the actual Pokemon that are in those slots. Suicune, in my opinion, is better defender than some of the other defenders in that class.
Incredibly fair point to make is when you think about what is the purpose of the defender role, what are they trying to do for the team, are they engage, are they for peel, or do they offer some type of unique bulk or utility? And Suicune does quite a couple of those things very well, which is why he just gets nerf after nerf after nerf and still sees play at the highest levels.
Game number 2 of our winners finals. Ignorance on our purple side, up 1-0 against Griefers Reunited on our orange side. They also last picked that Dragonite. Not exactly sure which flavor of Dragonite this is going to be, but it's going to be Outrage and or Hyper Beam. Of course, Hyper Beam, probably the most consistent of the 2 ability sets. That's one thing that I am concerned of for Griefers Reunited is their ability to stay in longer scale team fights. All-rounders, they have a fair amount of HP. They have a fair amount of displacement as well. This Serena is also going to be very difficult to deal with if they don't have a lot of crowd control on their team. They have a decent amount, right? They have they have a Sableye. They also have Snorlax, but you also have to contend with 2 other highly mobile all-rounders as well. There's 2 Lucarios, by the way. It's Mega Lucario on Ignorance and regular Lucario on Griefers Reunite. So we gotta remember that, Alex.
All right, we have some new action coming to the top side here. It looks like both the jugglers will be rotating to the top. We do have a Dragon Dance onto the Dragonair here right now. Raichu is able to pick up a knockout in the bot lane. Looks like it's going to be a double knockout in the bot lane. And Ignorance is going to be forced to take a more defensive position, despite initially winning the trades against that Dragonair. Dragonair, leveraging this, is able to go to the center, get some of those wild Pokemon knocks out, giving their team an EXP lead. And sitting in a nice position here, currently 2 players, level 6, no level 6 players on the side of Ignorance. Griefers is sitting pretty happy right now.
Once again, very similar to game number 1. They don't have the greatest early game, especially with the Steenie that just went down. And same thing for that Combuskin in the top path. They need to get to level 7 and further to get to level 8 to get these Stance Change Unite moves. Soup Chef trying to cook their way out of this one, but it looks like the Raichu is going to be able to get that super effective Electro Ball damage. Of course, typing doesn't matter in Pokemon Unite, but effective nonetheless. So they got a Snorlax in the bottom path, taking a look at the Tier 1 goal zone. They need to find some experience. Still level 6 on Protein Shake. They're going to retreat back to the Tier 1 goal zone. And I think that's Raichu working on the Raichu Drago as they peel down to the bottom path.
I love that name. That name is cursed in the best way possible. Protein Shake, phenomenal. All right, in the bot lane here, it looks like Suicune is going to be taking a short exchange with Snorlax. Snorlax will be taking a nap in order to recover from the HP, leaving a 1v2 scenario for the Raichu. Raichu taking a lot of damage, but spell rotation coming right back up, retaliating with an Electric Ball, does connect Suicune, being forced to back out. Double Lucario fight happening in the top lane here, but looks like Lucario will knock out Mega Lucario. Griefers Reunited taking the win in that fight, allowing them to grab more of these wild Pokemon, maintain that EXP lead, and continue to grow. And we're seeing the gaps widen. Level 8 Dragonite, level 9 Raichu. Most of their team, and all their team, at least level 7, where Ignorance only has 1 level 7 player. They're going to need to take advantage of that comeback EXP to come back into this game.
Dragonite is going to be Hyper Beam Dragonite. And take a look at that. Mega Lucario able to get the confirmation away from both the regular Lucario and the Dragonite. Regieleki about 40%, moving over to the right side of the field. Here comes the Dragon Ascent going up into the sky. Draco Impact, by the way, is a different ability. But Regieleki going into the Tier 1 goals on Hyper Beam, landing onto Neon. Unfortunately, Martine is going to have to watch as Ignorance is going to take down that Tier 1 goal zone. You're going to leave that one up. I don't know if they have enough points to break the goal zone. Martine going into the tall grass. They will recall, but no, well, still staying in the central area. 110, 146 as we head into the 6-minute point of the game. Unite moves starting to get onto the field. Pokemon to watch here, of course, is going to be that Lucario on the side of Ignorance, level 9, highest on their side.
All right, Dragonite getting caught out and forced to retreat into the opposing team's flex zone, losing the mobility, and will be giving a massive shutdown over to the side of Ignorance. Ignorance finding a second wind here after that last team fight. Several knockouts in the top lane, giving them that comeback EXP they so desperately needed. Now having a Blaziken level 10, Lucario level 10, catching up, fight breaking down here in the center lane. Suicune landing several stuns on Snorlax. Snorlax goes in with the body slam, will get a knockup, but will be displaced by the Mega Lucario. Mega Lucario securing the knockout.
Yeah, Thunderstorm area is going to make some room for the team, pushing them off the bottom path. Going to make some room maybe for an objective down here. Yeah, I don't think it's up just yet. And we're going to come to a stalemate here as looks like Griefers United losing their Tier 1 goals on the top path. Same thing for Ignorance in this bottom path. Sableye getting some vision as they normally do. As we head into the halfway point of the game, a couple of team composition observations that I have. Really good rip and flip composition by Griefers Reunited, right? They